Welcome to the 100 subs watching rules of Geekdom Mixer. Guys, we did it! We did it! We made it to 100 subs. Can't believe we made it. Been a long haul, hasn't it?
It has been a long journey, a long road, but you know what? We kept on pushing on. Why? Because we are seeking to reach Babylon, and we are here finally. Finally. Oh man.
Oh, we have a fish nuts. We have a fish nuts.
Uh-oh. Who could it be?
Hey, well, honor somebody known Brother Loomis. How you doing, my man?
Hello, good sirs. How are you doing?
Quite
Good.
wonderful. My mind is breaking right now. Mr. Loomis, it's great to officially meet and talk to you, sir.
It's nice to meet you too, man.
It's Loomis. We got Brother Loomis. Oh my God. This is great. This is fantastic. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Brother Loomis technically died in a yacht fire a few months ago, but I do share a body with him, kinda.
Oh man.
Thank you for coming on and spending the celebration with us, my man. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Congratulations on getting to 100 folks.
It's been a long journey, but we did it, and we're going to keep growing. And yeah, how's everybody's weekend going?
I got called into work, so it's been a very brief weekend, but it could definitely be worse.
That is fair. That is
Yes.
fair. I was actually considering going in today, but I was like, you know what? Nah. We have the mixer. I have a friend of mine's party. It was her birthday today. I hadn't seen her in a while. So I said, you know what? Screw the job. I'm going to do this like Eric Cartman because I can. And I don't give a shit. So that was how I was feeling. Yeah, man.
The worst that could happen is they could fire you. You could end up homeless, shooting people on the streets for money.
Yeah.
So it's probably a good decision. Decision.
You're right. I could be the hitman's bodyguard. I could be the cleaner. I could be Jackie Brown. I mean, I could be Samuel L. Jackson robbing McDowell's, if anything, you know. But
that's true.
Hey, but I chose.
Come in, John Wick. Come in, John Wick.
I could be John Wick. I'll take the Continental with no problem.
This was probably the moment that set you up for greatness today.
I'm telling you, this was it right here. This was it. This is the one. You know. Hey, speaking of Mr. Wick, anybody see that trailer the other day?
I'm off trailers.
Oh man, it was. Listen, I was blown away. I can't even deny it. I can't deny it. And this is coming from someone who is, admittedly, can say I've only seen 3, but doesn't mean that I don't love the character. So I'm going to force myself to go ahead and watch the first 2 still in preparation for this one because I'm excited. I've been wanting to get into like another action franchise that's like separate from anything comic related, but it looks really good. So I'm excited to see it when it comes out for sure.
See, I'm the exact opposite. I've seen 1 and 2, but I have not seen 3. Is it strong?
3 is pretty strong. I'm not gonna lie. I like the addition of Halle Berry, and she's got these 2 dogs in it. Oh man, they're great. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. The only thing I've seen from 2 was the gunfight between John Wick and Common. Like I thought that was pretty cool.
It was good.
Yeah. But I still have yet to see the only thing I know from the first one is Theon Greyjoy's in it and he lost his dog. And
the first one is great.
Yeah. Okay. I gotta watch that. So many movies I've been trying to catch up on. Like
and here comes another guest. We have Galaxy Luke.
What's up, everybody?
Luke!
Hello.
What's going on?
Going good. Just was watching a show with my wife and I realized, it's 8 o'clock.
What show are you watching?
We are watching Outlander right now.
My girl, she was watching that for a while, and she fell off, but she has loved every second of it that she has watched.
Everyone's significant other is watching that show.
Yeah. My wife had already watched all the seasons, and then she was like, "You need to watch this." I'm like, "Okay." So we've been watching them on season 5 now.
Jeez. Does the same sentiment go for Bridgerton?
That's one I've not tried yet. I don't know if I'm gonna try that one. I've heard it's okay, but I don't know.
Yeah, I heard it's all right. It's just, a lot of sex, not knocking it, but like the only exposure I've really had to Bridgerton is Big Mouth put out season 6, and they kind of did like a Bridgerton themed episode. So that's kind of been my entry into the world of Bridgerton. Just a lot of proper lords and ladies wanting to fondle their genitals with each other. But that's about it.
That is the heart of all European culture.
Yeah, basically.
It says George R.R. Martin.
Oh,
Only difference is he likes to keep it all in the family. Oh God!
wow.
Oh, that's so true. That is so true.
So did all the European monarchs. So it's reasonable.
Oh my God!
Oh goodness.
You know what? I just need one line to be in like season 2 of House of the Dragon. One person has to say "Family Matter." Just one.
Oh goodness. So I was gonna ask, anyone watch that Grogu short today?
Oh shoot! I forgot you mentioned that from yesterday. Not yet. Is it on Disney Plus?
Yes, it's like 3 minutes.
Okay.
Oh,
Or you can watch the whole reaction on our channel because we were able to post the entire reaction to it.
Then I will do that. I will do that. I will do that. Saves my
how
time.
Do what?
How is it?
I enjoyed it. It's cute. It's literally there's nothing to it. It's just cute. It's Grogu looking at dust bunnies.
Okay. Is it? Have you seen the Groot shorts yet?
Yes, I love the I Am Groot shorts.
Okay.
Soda.
Hello.
Hey,
Nice.
hey,
Howdy.
how are
Yeah,
you doing?
I'm doing all good, man. I'm doing all good. Congratulations on the 100 subscribers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh
Hey,
man.
where are you? You look different.
Who, me?
Yeah.
It's because I've got the Disney game going, so I've got the room open on my other screens. That's why you're seeing me in a different angle.
Wait,
Oh,
what game
you
are you
know-
playing?
Oh, it's Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Is it good? I've heard a lot of people talk about it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I was just looking for a game that's, I could just play and just relax. It's a mind-numbing game, and it's hitting all the criteria. I've been playing it in all my spare time, so.
Well, my
Have you
spare
tried
time-
Super Mario 3?
Yes. Many times.
All my spare time will be gone this week because Pokemon comes out.
Oh, yeah.
I might have a problem.
I'm gaining more spare time because I'm doing a play right now, but now that we're actually at the point where we're doing shows, we're not having as many rehearsals, so that's nice.
You say you're doing plays.
Yeah, I'm doing a play. Actually, yeah, we were supposed to have our second show tonight, but unfortunately, one of our actors had to go to the ER for a throat issue, so we had to cancel.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Fine.
Well, if you ever want another actor, I am your guy. I would,
All right, if you're willing to move up to Canada.
Listen, I will come anywhere. That did not come out right, but I will.
Yes.
I will join. No problem whatsoever. Oh God!
Oh my goodness!
It's good to know. Good to know you. Sure thing.
Oh, what show am I on right now? Oh, that's so
I'm sorry, everybody. There's a family-friendly show normally, but fuck it, there's a celebration.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you get a family, by doing what Midnight said. So
yeah, that's true.
Just sow your seed anyway. The fields are for planting.
yeah.
Oh me.
Oh,
What play are you in, man?
Pretty fast.
yeah. I was gonna ask you what's the name of the play and what's it about?
Oh, it's a play called Better Late by Larry Gelbart. And for those who don't know who's his name, he was actually one of the writers on MASH, and a lot of shows like that. And the very first production had John Mahoney, who played Fraser's dad.
Oh wow!
Yeah. But basically, it's just a play that has to deal with the ramifications of having an affair and stuff like that. And I play the son of a couple that went through that, and who's actually going through that himself. He walked in and saw on the security his wife screwing the contractor. So
it's like a comedy.
It's a dramedy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a 4-person play, very simple set. Very I'm only in it. I've got 2 scenes where I'm in the whole thing, and then there's a 1-page scene that I'm in, and then I come in the very last scene for like, I don't know, 2 minutes, and then I'm off.
Sounds like a coming of age story.
It's not, because the character is my age, so he's got kids and stuff.
Interesting. So he already came of age.
Unless did I miss a joke there, Ben? God damn it!
No, man.
Oh, goodness.
You had that look in your face like, damn it! And I was like, oh, okay.
Whatever.
I mean, what makes it even crazier is that the play is called Better Late. So I mean, it kind of wraps itself up all together. That's what she said.
Yeah. Well, in a way, it does, because my character at the end, spoilers, my father in the play dies. So the last scene is at the funeral, and I revealed that even though I had filed divorce papers, maybe the family is worth, maybe it is worth a second chance. So it's like the character's going to try to reconcile. So better late than never, right? And then when it comes to the parents' side, they've never had the discussion, because my character's mom and stepdad, they got together via an affair, and there was never that discussion, like, why did it happen? And that's what basically the play from their end is. Yeah, so it's like 2 different generations of spousal infidelity and stuff. Yeah.
So it's basically a takeoff of Spaceballs.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
When is that sequel coming?
Oh God, I don't know.
It's plain yogurt.
Yeah, plain yogurt. Yeah. It's what's needed.
The question is if that ever happens.
Yeah, I don't know if Mel Brooks will ever do another film, unfortunately, because he's almost 100.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got to be like 95 or something like that. Like he's old.
I mean,
I was answering some trivia questions today. He fought in World War II.
Yeah.
So he's definitely getting up there.
Yeah.
Well, he could put out another one if he wanted to be like Clint Eastwood and do a cry macho.
True. True.
He's 96.
Yeah,
Only
I
Clint. Wow.
was gonna say, like, he was staff writer on shows with Sid Caesar in the 50s.
We have to protect Mel Brooks with everything we got. We can't let him go.
I don't know. After this week, after 2022, it's been a year.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Did you guys know that Sidney Poitier passed this year?
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
I think.
It caught me so off. I said, really? Like, I didn't hear anybody talk about it at all.
Yeah, I remember seeing some talk about it, but it wasn't like widespread and stuff like that.
Which is crazy. He's like one of the greats of all time. So it was just like, I feel like that would have had, because I saw it in Screen Thrill did a reel of like in memoriam for all the actors and actresses that had passed throughout the year, and I saw Sidney Poitier pop up, and it's like really wow. And
I've only seen one of his movies, and I'm glad it was In the Heat of the Night. That movie is so good.
Mm-hmm. Raising in the Sun is another one. I actually played him, played Walter in Raising in the Sun, like in high school. That was great.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I got a question. I got a question for everyone. What for the rest of 2022? What's your most anticipated show left to watch?
Like TV show?
Yeah, they're series, like Netflix series.
I'm not gonna lie, I've fallen so far off of that. I don't even know what the heck's coming up.
I'm going back and watching stuff in the 90s, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Is that 90s show supposed to come out by the end of the year?
I think that's next year.
Damn, because that's something I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I haven't started. I think the show I'm most excited for at the moment, weirdly, is Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
That just looks that honestly. I'll say this: any like content we have done on Wednesday on our channel has done incredible.
Oh, that's an insanely popular character, so I'm not surprised.
And that's what like the monsters should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, they got back the original director, which was good. Director from the 90s Addams Family movie.
Okay.
Oh man.
What's his name? Sonderman?
No.
Steven Summers.
Man, why am I struggling on this one?
John, let's go.
What the heck is it?
Did they get MC Hammer back for the soundtrack?
Barry Sonnenfeld.
Yeah, him.
Tim Burton.
Okay, he's not the director. He's the producer.
He's the producer.
Oh, is he just producer? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
He never directed it.
Oh, okay. So he's just producing. Okay.
Yeah.
But even still, you because I've cut out a few of the interviews of Jenna Ortega of her talking about it to like make shorts, and she talked about how I think Tim Burton was actually very involved with the show. Like,
oh yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. He seems like a hands-on producer.
Oh yeah, which is good. I actually like a producer that's actually hands-on. Like how hands-on was Spielberg with Transformers. I mean, come on.
Right. Yeah, I don't think he was that hands-on. He might have, maybe given some notes, but yeah, I think he was producer in name only with that.
I think he took one phone call and that's it.
What? Sorry,
to know how to spell his name.
Yeah, I think he took one phone call about those movies and that's it.
Yeah, no kidding.
I need to get that gig. Can I technically be the producer of this show now? I've jumped in twice, so can I get like a little post-credit tag on there?
Yeah, we'll give you one. The pay's awful, but yeah, we'll give you one.
Pay's awful. Nice.
So who else watched Black Panther yet?
I haven't yet. I'm probably going to go Monday.
So me and Luke so far.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's so good too.
Well, I wasn't really planning to go because of my play. Tomorrow night's my D&D night, and so I was like, okay, Monday probably would work the best.
I've been hearing a lot of mixed stuff about Black Panther on Twitter.
You know what? Let me speak to that for a moment. So here's what I'm feeling like, right? A friend of mine, he even said he felt like the movie just shouldn't have been made at all.
Wow.
And I'm like, he's really right. So
who said that?
A friend of mine said he saw the movie, he gave it a 6 out of 10. He was like, I don't feel like it should have been made at all. Like, obviously, we can feel that, Chadwick isn't there, but I'm like, I'm not going to say like the movie shouldn't have been made at all. I mean, it had to have been done at some point. Now, the things that people are saying, I told Luke and Ben yesterday, I felt like I liked Riri Williams' character. I just didn't feel like she really had a place in the movie other than them just promoting the show with her coming up, but I do like her character. I just feel like people went in with these unrealistic expectations instead of just going in open. Like, obviously, none of us really knew what was going on. I mean, other than the fact that we could say, I'm pretty sure most people inferred that Shuri would be Black Panther. You know, that's kind
Yeah,
of
it was obvious.
yeah.
Well,
But
the movie doesn't make it a surprise. I think at first I was wondering why they put that in the marketing, but honestly, the movie doesn't treat it as a surprise. They really treat it in a very respectful way.
But-
I actually
Yeah.
really like that.
But I mean, like logically, that was the direction they were gonna go. Like,
Oh, they
Right.
had to. They
But
didn't really
I
have a
also-
choice.
I mean, but I also think like when the cast, I kind of felt like the cast played a lot of fans for stupid when they said that nobody really got who it was. I'm like, it's kind of obvious. I mean, but I think that if they did decide to go away from that, which not spoiling anything, they may decide to do that based on how it ended.
okay,
It might go that route, but right now I'm not opposed to it. You know,
I thought.
go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead. I was just gonna say, I felt the way that they handled her being Black Panther on the most unspoilery way I can say is she is very different than her brother. She's very different than anything else that we have seen. They don't make her brother. They do very interesting story points that make her a different character. And the way that she has to grow up in this movie is very impressive, especially when you go back and look at her scenes from the original Black Panther.
Mhm.
She is not even the same character because of how she has to grow up. And I believe the reason why they brought in Riri Williams into this movie was they needed to have that character, that the original Shuri character, in someone else, because Shuri was changing her role. And so they
Mhm.
basically gave Riri that role of Shuri. And you kind of see that within the trailer. So that's why I think they brought in Riri.
and I mean, like that's what I would want. Is I wouldn't want Shuri to be exactly like T'Challa, and I wouldn't want it to be easy for her. Like this makes sense.
Yeah, and they definitely put her on a journey where she has to really make some tough decisions. I just wish that I know like Phase 4 hasn't been it for a lot of people, and you know, kind of in a way, like yeah, I see why. I mean, it's not what we were used to with Phases 1 through 3. It's kind of like a reset, but I do think that this and Shang-Chi are the strong. As much as I like Thor: Love and Thunder still, I think that Shang-Chi and Wakanda Forever are the strongest entries of Phase 4 altogether.
What about Spider-Man?
Shang-Chi.
Oh, and Spider-Man. I forgot No Way Home. Yes. I always forget for some reason. Yeah.
Everyone forgets Spider-Man.
That's for me. That's like number one of Phase 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
It's funny that I've noticed most people end up forgetting that Spider-Man was Phase 4. I think
Because it feels like a Phase 3 movie.
It feels so separate. It feels like it's because it came out like right after COVID. It was so anticipated. People were so excited, and I think it just feels so different than anything else that we've gotten.
Yeah.
And everybody forgetting about Black Widow.
I have to jump off, guys. Sorry.
Okay.
Again,
Great talking to you, man.
congratulations. Thanks for having me on, guys. And again, great work. Love your shows, and congrats on 100 subscribers.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're on.
Thanks for coming on, buddy.
No problem.
You know,
But I will say, like, when it comes to Phase 4, I think they have had a very tonal problem where I think that Black Panther Wakanda Forever handles the balance very well. I think they balance humor very well in it. I think Spider-Man No Way Home balanced humor very well. And I think Shang-Chi did as well. And those, I would say, are the three that balance the best over any of the other Phase 4.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so balanced it so well. I think Thanos would be proud. You know, but I do have to say, like, I mean, even I like Black Widow more than most people. It has its problems.
I like
I
that movie.
liked it very much as well. I really enjoyed that movie.
I had
Yeah,
fun with it.
I have to see it again. I don't remember. I did have it the one time and it was okay.
I love her and Elaine. Or is it Elena? No,
Yelena.
Yeah,
Yelena. I love,
Yeah.
like, to me, Yelena is such a spotlight from that movie and the continuation. Like, if you go back and watch the scenes in Hawkeye with her in it, it's so good. Like,
yeah.
she's just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, Red Guardian too, man. Like, David Harbour was great for that. To me, the whole movie, to me, after I sat and thought about it, it felt like an allegory to what goes on with sex trafficking around the world. And
Yeah.
I was like, wow, like it just, that's really what solidified it for me. Is this is really good. Like, it has, like I said, I didn't really like how they handled Taskmaster.
Yeah, that I think they failed there. I think that was
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think that they had strong characters. Love the music. Really love the choice of American Pie. Was it American Pie? What's the name of that?
Yeah, John McClane's
It is
American Pie. Yeah.
Yeah. Love the choice of that in the beginning. It's like, oh, that's great. The music in the movie's phenomenal. Like, it's, some people say, well, it's just too late. And yeah, you could say it was late but I mean, for what we got, I still think it's a serviceable movie at the time.
I think
Yeah.
if you're gonna watch it, I think the best way to place it, I would place it right after Civil War. I think if you watch it right after Civil War, don't watch the end credit scene. I think that your watch through of the MCU is actually better. I think it actually helps if you do
I
it
like
that
that.
way.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys what. I think Hawkeye is the most underrated show.
Oh God,
It's not-
Hawkeye was so much fun.
Okay,
not
let me ask y'all this.
the
Oh, okay.
It's not the best show, but it's underrated for sure.
Well, let me ask y'all this, from including show and movie for Marvel Phase 4. I'm curious for each person. What is the worst Marvel Phase 4 project?
Ooh.
To be honest, some of the
Mhm.
ones that people consider the worst, I actually haven't seen. So I would say any one of those. I haven't seen Eternals yet. I haven't watched Moon Knight. And for some reason I haven't watched Ms. Marvel. I got to change that over Christmas break, that one.
I tell you what. So I haven't watched Ms. Marvel yet, simply because I never really had any interest in the character, but I'll give it a watch. Moon Knight, I really hate how it ended. Like, it felt so rushed, and now they're like teasing, oh, we might do a season 2. I'm like, obviously you have to, but like,
They set it up for season 2.
Yeah, like no, like, okay. So how people felt about the end of there goes
Hey,
Don.
man.
What's up?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
Hear
can
you
hear you.
well, sir.
Oh my God, Jesus! I'm literally just leaving work, guys. I'm trying to get home. Oh my God, I had the worst day ever. So I'm sorry.
Oh, good.
How's
We'll
everybody
tell you
doing
some
tonight, though?
jokes.
Doing good.
We're doing good. We're doing good.
What just happened?
We're doing good.
Yeah.
Oh, what just happened?
So we were talking
we're-
about Luke had the question of like our
Oh.
favorite. Oh, he's gone again. Oh,
Hey,
jeez.
go.
We'll catch him back up.
Yeah.
But I hated how Moon Knight ended. But I had to say, like, my least favorite project, it might be Eternals. And when I think back to Multiverse of Madness, I liked it, but it had just a little. There was something I felt that was missing. From it, like I can't really pinpoint it. I don't know if it was just. I think that they didn't do the multiverse aspect the best justice. Like, we got to see a quick little montage of them going through different multiverses, but because I saw everything everywhere all at once, I was like, oh no, that's how you do the multiverse. That was what I was hoping for. So I understand why fans were upset with that. But right now I still have to say Eternals because of the whole logic of this. Just how do you have this thing and nobody's addressing it?
Well, on that part of it, the timeline hadn't hit yet. So Eternals was set a little bit after everything else. I think Wakanda Forever is the first time it's closest to Eternals timeline wise. So
Okay.
that's the one excuse is the timeline had not hit yet.
Then I can't see. Then at that point, I wish they explained that just a little bit more, gave that a little bit more of context. If because I didn't feel like I caught that right away. Now if you say that, it makes sense. I still don't like the fact that they have this thing and it's not being like talked about. Because even in Moon Knight, we have that whole conflict, and people are just disappearing, and no one's saying anything about what's taking place in Egypt. It's just that's my only gripe. But I'd have to say Eternals was like the least for me.
I cannot believe.
I feel like I can be in a hurry to see that one, and that's the thing for me about Phase 4. It's just it doesn't feel rewatchable for the most part. Like No Way Home, I've watched that a few times for sure, but everything else I've only seen once. For the most, Thor, Love and Thunder I've seen twice.
Yeah. I'm shocked at the movie the show that no one's mentioned, and it might be my least favorite thing Marvel's ever released is She-Hulk.
I love Hulk.
Yes. I hate it.
Having fun with She-Hulk.
Well, here's the thing.
I will agree. I agree.
I like She-Hulk. I actually enjoyed it more than most people until the last episode. I felt the last episode was so. I liked the joke. I hated how they do the joke and they wrap everything up in a minute. I'm like, no, give us a you make the joke of all Marvel movies and shows end the same way. We need to end it differently. Okay. And then they just wrap everything up and it's like, no, end it with a court battle. This is a courtroom drama, or that's what it's supposed to be. End it with a court battle where you see her strength. But instead
it lost me with the wedding.
Oh, the wedding was funny.
The wedding episode lost me because it's like, and I get the joke in the beginning, like, oh, this is where this would happen, and then it happens, and it's like, yes, so don't do that. Like, don't do that. Like
do
I would have rather them made that joke and then skip the wedding and something else happened. Like, it's just the episodes were so short. It's like, why are you going to waste a 20-minute episode on the wedding? Like, give me something of substance. I don't know. Just after that, it felt like it slowed down, and the stories just didn't make any more sense after that.
Well, they lost the setup.
I realized I'm an easy film fan. If it makes me laugh and I'm enjoying myself, and honestly, like if I get lost in what's going on and it sucks me in, it works for me, and it worked for me. Like I'm a very easy person to please when it comes to content.
Yeah, me too.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Me
that's not a bad thing. Yeah.
I can talk poetically about stuff like this, but that's not what personally draws me to things. It's like the enjoyment and getting lost in the story and stuff like that. And that's also my kind of humor. That is why I love like Deadpool and stuff. That stuff gets me every time. So.
Well, honestly, in saying that, I would say when it comes to movies, my least favorite movie it's funny that this actually has become my least favorite is Multiverse of Madness. I think I ended up really disliking not because of the story itself. I think the story was interesting. I despise what they did to Wanda because there was such a development in WandaVision that you brought her to a point in WandaVision. And then every development you brought in WandaVision, you threw it out the window and said, "Oh, she's just obsessed with finding her kids." It's like, but that's not even how that show ends. It ends with her afraid for her kids because her kids are calling for help. They don't even use that.
Right, but there is that credit scene at the end where she is tapping into the dark madness and she is hearing the voice of her kids. So that's why Multiverse of Madness worked for me, because when I saw that, I knew she would do anything to get her kids. So that's why for me, even though I've only watched it the one time, Doctor Strange worked more for me than most people.
But even that though, like yes, the kid, she was looking for her kids, but it was a different decision making. At the end of WandaVision, she's looking for her kids because they're yelling for help. Doctor Strange Multiverse Madness, she's just looking for random kids and she's just going to take those kids. It's like that's two different dynamics. One is she is a mother worried for her children, and the other is, oh, I just want to steal these kids. And it's like, okay, that's your reasoning so different, and
So
it took away any growth that she had.
so could you chalk that up to either lazy writing, or would you say that could be, and maybe this is like, giving the writers an excuse, maybe that like maybe that's part of her mind fracturing is, like, okay, well, 1 second it's this, but then the next moment it's completely something. It's completely different. I mean,
Actually,
just-
it's honestly the right. I mean, it's kind of come out and said the writers on Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness didn't watch WandaVision and didn't actually
What?
consult anything. Yeah, they didn't
You
watch.
think at this
watch
point, something like that would be a prerequisite.
Yeah.
They didn't watch it, so that's why it's so different, because they actually did not watch WandaVision to prepare for Doctor
Okay,
Strange
that's,
Multiverse of
that
Madness.
at least explains that. Then okay,
Yeah,
Still,
that's
Oh,
why.
that's just
that's bad.
yeah. That's all.
That's why, I mean, because Sam Raimi just wanted a horror villain, and so they used Wanda because Wanda had already been set up. But that's why they didn't use anything from WandaVision, because they just didn't watch WandaVision. They kept it
now
separate.
that sounds very much like the writers for She-Hulk, because I heard like a lot of different stories come out of that where they were writing just to pretty much troll viewers.
Oh yeah, that's what they did.
Like
And
fans,
that's what
and
they
I'm
wanted
like,
to do, actually.
Oh wow.
But I mean, like, okay, but why? Like, here's the thing: She-Hulk's been around since what, the 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, I don't have an issue with female heroes or villains. Like,
Most don't. I mean,
right.
it's.
So
I think that I've gotten to the point that argument is, to me, pretty dumb.
Yeah, no.
Because it's used against people, and I'm just like, no, that's never the argument.
Never
it's
the argument.
character.
Like when Captain Marvel came
Yeah,
out.
because I like the dating episodes in that. The reason I don't like the wedding episodes is because it's just a cheap way to get them to fight
Mhm.
again. Like that's really all that episode was a reason for them to fight again. And it's like, so it's just cheap to me.
And that's it. And I just want good characters. I don't care if it's a male or a female. See,
Yeah.
when Captain Marvel
Right.
came out, I talked to somebody, and she said, "Oh, you just didn't like it because she's a woman." I said, "That's not it at all." Like,
I love Miss Marvel.
Oh, Miss Marvel is incredible. I will say Miss Marvel is great.
What does that have to do with anything? Yeah,
yeah, like I
like Black Widow. Black Widow was good.
Black Widow was great, right? I like Black Widow,
Yeah.
but I just did not like how they handled Captain Marvel. I felt like she was too cocky. She wasn't likable to me, and I'm like, what, like that was it. Like I just didn't find her likable.
Here's my thought with Captain Marvel. I thought it was a fun. I thought it was a decent movie. I don't think it's a good MCU movie though.
Yeah,
Where I think my problems with Captain Marvel is, I think Captain Marvel, and it's funny. I think it's one of my dad's favorite Marvel movies, actually. But
Wow.
I think the problem with that movie is the original concept of making Captain Marvel not have her memory. And so, as an audience, instead of trying to fall in love with this person's personality, her character, they took away all her personality, took away all her character, because she had amnesia. And so she's trying to figure out who she is. We're trying to figure out as an audience who she is. And so when she gains all this power, she's not endearing. My favorite scene of Captain Marvel is from Endgame, where she lands and she goes to Peter Parker, and she's just like, "Hey, Peter Parker." That was the most endearing moment for her character, and that's when I realized
we had to get there. Yeah,
and that's what I'm hoping with Miss Marvel or the Marvels. I think you're going to see a much better movie, and I think Captain Marvel is going to be a better character in that movie. I think Captain Marvel's biggest problem was the amnesia. I don't think it's. I think it's just you were trying to get to know the character, and I think a lot of people went in angry because she had said some dumb stuff in an interview once.
Yeah, and which was totally misconstrued, because if you watch the full clip of stuff she says, it's like, okay, that's not quite the tone she was going for.
Yeah. And I think like they were trying to do a lot of clickbait, because there was the whole thing of like, well, like
I turned a buddy of mine around.
Jeremy Renner, get irritated by Brie Larson or things like that. I mean, and she's a good actress. She really, I mean, she's an Academy
Totally.
Award-winning actress too.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, I just didn't like the portrayal. I think it could have been done, like you said. Maybe it is the amnesia.
I think the amnesia affected a lot of that movie. I really think it was the. I think the amnesia affected a lot. I feel like also one negative for that movie is and I think this is actually bad writing, was using the cat to make Fury lose his eye. I think that was a very lazy.
Yeah.
When it comes to connectivity, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
At all.
I like that.
It's a funny joke.
Try to plug it into the MCU. It just hasn't. I don't know.
It doesn't fit the same way. Because in the because when you go back to Winter Soldier, he literally says the last person I trusted, I lost an eye for, and then they use it as a joke in Captain Marvel of he trusted a cat and the cat ripped his eye out. It's like that's actually a very cheap way of, and they kept doing it.
While it is also something that Nick Fury would say, though, he would never admit to having a cat clawing his eye out.
I mean, that's fair, but I think that is a cheaper way of doing it. There's better ways they could have did it. I think.
Like, when it comes to the amnesia thing, like, I didn't mind it. The only thing I would change is I would have at least kept some of her personality. I would have made her the Terminator.
Well, and that's
definitely, yeah.
And that's when losing her personality, and actually I think could have worked if they had actually done flashbacks. They didn't do full flashbacks. They would do like quick snippets, but you didn't actually see her charisma, her caring for her friend. You lost that.
Yep.
Like, you saw her having fun with her friends, but that's really about it.
Yeah, and I think that's where I think it failed. And I think I have a lot of hope for that character, but that's why I am.
Yeah, but do we need the female version of Bucky? Like, do we really need that in the MCU? I don't think so.
I wouldn't say she's female version of Bucky. I'd say their characters are very different.
She's just no. What I mean by that is just, how she was so put offish, like.
Okay.
Attitude.
I think you're going to see a very different character by the Marvels. I really do think that they. And personally, I think they also they did fine with her in Endgame, but they they wrote themselves in a corner because Captain Marvel is too powerful. I mean, she is.
Yeah.
And I think they don't know how to handle that.
Yeah. They beat her big time in Endgame. Yeah.
What I do think we're going to get is, I think we're going to get, like Luke said, the Captain Marvel that said, "Hey, Peter Parker." I think that's the Captain Marvel we're going to get going forward. So I do think we're going to have good things coming from that, and I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. I really think Marvel, and this is especially after Black Panther, I have a lot more hope for Phase 5, like a lot more hope now, because Black Panther was just that good for me. Like, I felt so good coming out of that movie.
Yeah. Black Panther, I walked away with the only other thing, once I go see it again, which I'm not going to do in 3D because for some reason that was the only way we could see it that night at that time, which was, I don't know why. I still don't know why they do freaking 3D. It's a gimmick. I saw Multiverse of Madness in 3D. Mind you, I went.
That was fun in 3D.
That one's fun in 3D. I like that one in 3D.
But here's the thing. I think I would have enjoyed it more in 3D if I wasn't crossfaded. I can admit that. But because my head was killing me the whole time I was watching it. I actually ended up taking off my glasses and just like watching it blurry the rest of the time, and I'm like, okay, I can handle this. But Black Panther was not made for it to be seen in 3D, so I don't know why they even added it.
Yeah,
to be like, nah, it just doesn't work that way. IMAX, Dolby, absolutely. That's what I cannot wait to see it in. But like I said, I think it definitely, like Luke said, it gives me more hope for Phase 5 because Quantum Mania looks awesome.
And also Secret Invasion. Oh, that's gonna be
I
can't wait for that.
But when it came to Black Panther, and this is what makes me excited for the future, the politics in Black Panther was incredible. and
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
cannot wait to see more Marvel politics done well.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
And see, I think it excites me more now for whenever they do X-Men, because I think the other political factor that we're missing is the whole conflict with Magneto and Professor X,
Oh yeah.
and eventually getting Genosha and even Krakoa.
Well, not
at
even
some
that.
point.
We missed the whole political side of Civil War because they couldn't do that story the way they wanted to, or to the comics. Because I mean, in Civil War, Tony's president. I mean, there's a lot more politics in that story.
That's true.
I do have a question for y'all on it, and this is more of a controversial conversation because I'm actually curious because I don't
Sure.
have a good way to talk about it. When it comes to the X-Men, are y'all okay if they end up race swapping the characters?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I answer first?
Yes, I'd love your opinion too.
Okay.
Sure.
So here's my thing with race swapping. If you do it, there better be a purpose for it and not doing it just to service people to be like, hey, you know what? We're going to do this just because. Now, if they decide to and they go with like the civil rights movement, let's say they make them both black and decide to go with the civil rights movement, and that's how and Jim Crow, and that's how Magneto kind of gets his exposure. Maybe his father was killed in a protest or something that went wrong, and then they police beat him to death or something, and he watches his father die. Akin to what happened in the first X-Men when we saw him in the concentration camps. Like, okay, cool, that works perfectly. But if they do it just to do it, then I'm completely against it. I mean, they can do it for there's my lady. So, like, yep.
I don't care what they do. Just bring back Halle Berry as Storm, and I'll be happy. I'm good with that.
No,
Because Halle Berry with the short white hair is the sexiest thing to ever live. So I don't care.
I just want the best possible actor for the character.
Yes,
And,
I agree.
a lot of people shit on the movie, and rightfully so. But I like how they did it with Fantastic Four Stick, where they race swapped on Storm, but they made it so Sue Storm was adopted into the family. That's an example of how you do it.
See, I think in that form of it, I actually did have a bit of a problem with it. I think I would have been a little bit more okay if Sue Storm had actually been black in that story, because I felt the adoption thing actually took away from that story a bit, because it felt like, okay, we just want to change Johnny. You either go all in or not at all. That's how I kind of lean towards.
Well, and they weren't both adopted in that, right? I'm trying. I don't remember.
Yeah, no,
only one.
Sue Storm was the only one who was adopted.
I was gonna say maybe if they were both adopted, and that's just kind of how they bonded.
Yeah.
Or that was why they bonded so much. Maybe something like that would have been a little bit different. But yeah, I kind of see what you're saying there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think you've got to go full in when you do it.
Sure.
I think the best. I'm trying to think. What would y'all say the best race swap?
Oh, easy. Kingpin, Michael Clark Duncan from Daredevil.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a slam dunk right there.
And you know what's funny? Back then, no one cared.
Right, but that's funny. Of that.
Yeah, no one cared. Like, I never heard anyone complain about that race swap.
Me neither.
It's just been more. I think it's just more conversation.
When he one hands Daredevil and slams him into the ceiling. Sorry.
Well,
there's a delay on my side. Sorry.
If you think about it too, though, I think race swapping in the early 2000s was probably a lot more accepted than it actually has been now. I think that kind of conversation has actually gotten worse as the years have gone on, not better.
And I mean, there's even a history of it. Like, think about it. Eartha Kitt was Catwoman in the 60s Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I just right there. Nobody gave two shits.
Yes.
Gave her Catwoman.
I think it's just more the. I think everything is such a political battle now, where they're just you can't do anything without it being a political decision. Like that's and here's the thing: the saddest part is, in the past, if there was a race swap, it was because it was for the best actor, and you knew it was just for the best actor. I think today people feel like, no, you're doing this because you're actually trying to make a statement instead of actually doing it for the character.
Perfect example of modern day getting the
And
best actor.
I don't think that's even it.
I was gonna say Tilda Swinton in Doctor Strange. That is like you can like I remember people complaining about that, but she's the best possible actor to do it. Like you can't think of any other ancient one anymore without it being Tilda Swinton. Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my girl. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's my girl.
But that's why I say.
My wife already knows that's my hall pass. That's my hall pass right there. I don't care.
Hall pass.
I just know I cannot wait to see what they do with Storm in the MCU because I think they.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
you're going
interested.
to see. Well, I think what you're going to see with the future of the X-Men. The X-Men are going to come in younger, like much younger.
Could you? I just realized. God darn it! It's another bad, sad reason that Chadwick's gone. Could you imagine if they did the T'Challa marrying Storm story?
Yeah, we can't get any of that. Yeah.
Word. I will say this: I am not going to say a word.
Okay, fair.
There is. I will say this: that storyline can be done in the future for a certain reason.
Okay,
and that's all I can say.
If depending on how late this goes, I might go to the
I got you.
Black Panther. I might just see.
That's the most I can give you on the Storm storyline. Can be done in the future in a very well done way.
You know what? I say piss everybody off and have jury date Storm.
Yeah, why not?
Screw it. Piss everybody off. Piss them all off.
Well, here's the thing: the way they handle the movie, the way they end the movie, you are able to really see a future for this franchise in a way that everyone will be happy.
I have heard that. So okay, I think I might actually go watch it tonight. What I'm wondering is when they eventually do bring in the X-Men, it's like how heavy are they going to lay into civil rights / anti-gay agenda type stuff? Because that is basically what the core of the X-Men is.
Yep.
I think you have to be careful. I think you do it, but you do it in a very wise way where you're still not alienating audiences. Yeah. I think if you're going to do the storylines, don't just do it for political statements first. Don't make your message more important than your story. Make your story more important than your message.
That's one.
You're right.
That's one where I would get like a think tank in a way. It's just like I would get the people you hired to write the movie, and then I would get them to have representation from all of those different categories so they could get the right tone. You know?
Well, like my favorite one, a great example is looking at the first Black Panther movie. The first Black Panther movie handled race relations very well, but it focused on story first and preaching second, and the message second. A lot of my problems with She-Hulk was it focused on its message first, then its story. And that's why I think you had such a division within that story, why people were so upset, because they were more worried about the message and preaching at you than actually giving you a good story. And I think that's where if Marvel is not careful, you will have people don't want to be preached at.
No, for sure.
I mean, and that's the thing. Like people don't want to be preached at, and I think recently people are really focusing on their political identities, and they want to push that identity on other people, and they're focusing more on their message and the preachingness that they're preaching at you instead of their story, and that's why it's so divisive. You can throw some of the things within the story, but don't make that your focus. Like, make that story your focus.
Yeah, but I also feel like, I don't know how to say it, bending the knee to those people is just ridiculous in a lot of these cases. Because, I mean, like, what was the one they just complained over? Lightyear. Buzz Lightyear. Like, they're freaking out because they had a kiss. Like, come on. Like that's what I'm saying. If it gets to the point where, you know, we don't put things in a movie because of that, then no, then I don't agree with that. That I don't agree with, because I'm sorry, screw those people. Like, and I mean, obviously, like you said, movies should be for everybody, and you shouldn't alienate people. But if you're just coming up with ridiculous things to be mad about a movie at, then you know what? I don't want you to watch my movie. Don't come.
Well, the one that got me was
Sorry,
the one that got me was when they're complaining about Tim Allen. I'm like, they clearly said that this was not that Lightyear. This was the movie that Andy watched. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, right.
I haven't seen it. How is that movie Lightyear?
It's a fun movie. It's very
haven't watched it yet.
It's Pixar's version of a sci-fi film.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. like
It
how
was.
can you be mad at that?
I haven't watched it
enjoyed
yet.
it.
I haven't.
I haven't seen it yet either. No.
But that's why I say I think right now, I mean, it also goes down to the fact that as a country as a whole, we are so divided in general, and I would say as people in general, we are divided on everything, and so everything is becoming a battle. And the internet is.
You're telling me.
I don't live in your country, and I'm feeling it. Like I follow American politics and stuff like that.
Don't come here, man. Trust me, don't come here.
No.
It's not even just. Me and Ben kind of talked a little bit off camera yesterday, a little bit about this. It's not really just about the politics. It's about people's in their identity and how they want to connect with that. When we grew up in the early 2000s to the 90s, it was about you want to be special, you want to be out of the box, you want to be the hero of your own story. Now in today's world, it's I want to be a part of this group, this clique, this is my identity, so this is my box. And so if you don't fit into this box, then you are isolated and canceled because you don't identify with this group. And so it's groupthink, it's people going at each other over their beliefs, basically. And so it's not, and it's on
sad,
both sides.
It's sad.
It's on both sides. And
yeah.
And that's the saddest part about it. What's up, Adelia?
And it's not something that is necessarily native to the United States. Like I always like to joke that Canada is America light because we've got the same issues up here. We're just not as crazy.
I got you.
I mean, but here's the thing for
you guys are just nicer about it too, right?
Well, more or less, yeah.
Well, but what happened? Well, what happened was we live in an internet age where your connections, the people you're connected with, are on the internet. That's your friends. I mean, the fact you're from Canada and I'm from Tennessee. I mean, we will. My guess is me and you will never meet in person, but we will get to meet through online in great conversations and build friendships. But because of that, there are such a stronger form of cliques, and that's what the internet is becoming. It's high school. You are literally seeing high school.
100%, and we've kind of seen that firsthand a little bit there. It really is very much high school, and I agree. That's why I stopped after a certain time. I kind of got tired of being a part of some communities, more or less. No, it's just it got to be too much. It got to be too much. It almost
look at me.
Yeah, no, I see that.
That's so funny.
I see that. No, it's just sometimes it got to the point where it almost ruined things for me, and it's just that's not fun. That's not good.
It's not a happier topic. It's supposed to be a celebration, not a man.
It's called therapy. Deal with it.
Well, I mean, there's some good things on just being able to be like, because honestly, I know. It's just nice being able to talk about because you don't actually get to a lot because you're very afraid that you will offend somebody and they will cancel you.
At this point, is my look on it is go ahead and try. Sue me for what? Right? Like, I mean, I'm just doing this for fun. I'm not doing this to gain the biggest audience possible. I'm not here to, if I say something really egregious, sure, go for it. Like that, I will deserve it. But from some really innocuous thing, like you might want to pick your battles, people.
Well, that's why I'm very thankful that my channel is not reliant on a community. It's just growing on its own. I'm very thankful for that.
Basically, it's just like whatever, man. Like there's so many corners of the internet.
Well, like right now, my YouTube channel, the Galaxy Geeks, we're at 2,843 subscribers.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
I'm so happy. Like
Yeah.
it's Shorts has been killing it for us.
Yeah, I've seen shorts, a lot of shorts on YouTube now. It seems to be the thing.
That's where you get your views now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's you'll release a short and it'll get thousands of views, and it doesn't make you a lot of money, but it gives you a lot of views and also gives you a lot of subscribers.
Mm-hmm. Which is good.
It's a different way of making content. Like the best thing I have found recently is actually clipping out interviews and releasing them as shorts.
Oh yeah, that makes sense because not everybody wants to watch the whole thing, right?
No, they want everything is clipped out into bites.
Yeah,
that's what it's like. Oh, what's like I've got a short releasing tomorrow on Jenna Ortega and why she loves horror movies. It's just a quick few 30 or 22-second video, and and one thing you find out with shorts, how long a video matters so much when it comes to shorts.
Oh, really?
The shorter and the more quick a video is and edited to be quick, the better that video would be, because it's just you're the attention span of the average person now is so short.
Yeah.
People don't want to sit, and every once in a while that they'll want to sit and watch like a full show. I think, strangely, I would say Christian Harloff is probably at the best place with that, because I don't know of any other channel where long form works like Christian is doing it. Like there's not many who can, but you have to be very charismatic and entertaining.
Yeah, it's true. There really isn't that many long form interviews nowadays. Like even so, like on other, like I watch a lot of wrestling stuff, and you don't see that many long form interviews outside of like Sam Roberts or Pat McAfee or something like that, right?
Hey, here's the thing: interviews kill channels right now. Like there's a reason why we stopped interviews completely on our channel, and Christian's has too. Like you don't see Christian do interviews anymore because they just bite it. They don't do well.
Which is unfortunate, because that's some of the stuff I like to listen to.
Oh, that's some of the best content. Like it really is some of the best.
And I've been getting into it. Thanks for
well, I mean,
you're welcome.
But I will say this for your case, for the interviews you do for this channel, it's not really about the views. It really isn't. It's about building those connections, building those friendships, and in the long run, you can use that to build up an audience of a small. You're building a community. That's what you're doing with those interviews. It's building a community where the people that you interview, you build a relationship with them through those interviews, so that later on you might be able to do more with them.
Well, for example, like Benny there came out to do an interview, and next thing you know, he's on your show.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. I mean that's where I would say the interviews work really well. And in the past, like some of the best interviews we had was just because we were able to make connections with them. Our views weren't that high, but it was still such a fun interview to do. Like my favorite is still interviewing Kevin Smets. He's just a fun guy to have around.
Yeah, I interviewed him a couple of years ago. Yeah, I mean, for me, it was never about the views or anything like that. That's not really why I got into it. I got into it to have fun. And for a long time, it was fun. Like the views, that was all great when we hit certain milestones, right on. But it's just like I was there just to have fun and talk and meet new people and actually talk about things that I enjoy that I don't get to talk about in my real life. So
Happy 100 subscriber anniversary, everyone.
I will admit I have had an infused joint, and so I might be a little bit more surlier than normal without realizing it. And I had that 2 hours ago.
but Ben, honestly, you should be very proud of reaching 100 subscribers.
Yeah,
this has been great. I mean, because honestly, I look at my subscriber count, and it took so long to get there, and you're there. You're at the first milestone. So
and hopefully it won't be the last.
Hey, there'll be more. I mean, you're
We're
still
gonna keep this
growing. I
going,
mean,
man. Absolutely.
you're already at 114 subscribers. I mean, you're growing. I mean,
Yeah.
that's great.
Which is it's damn good stuff, man.
And we have some more fun stuff planned.
I think we're really proud of everything we've done so far. It's been a little slow. I mean, it feels, but I think that's kind of how every channel starts in the beginning, is real slow, and then they pick
100%.
Oh, our channel didn't reach 100 for 7 months.
Yeah.
I remember with Schmoes of the North originally. Yeah, it was around that. It was under a year for sure. I just can't remember the exact timeline. I still remember how we celebrated it. We did it with a Survivor Simulator of Schmoedown competitors. That was wild because we had to record it like 3-4 times. It was really.
I don't think I have celebrated any of our milestones.
They might haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah, that's going back. That was early COVID.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who was Mount Schmoedown?
That was me, Ryan, and
originally
it was Brandon Buckingham, but then
Allison came in, yeah.
You forgot Sean.
And John,
yeah. I was curious. I knew that one was a bigger one.
That was really mine and Ryan's baby, and Brandon came on shortly after, and then he left and we got Sean, and then the rest is history.
See, I used to watch. I mean that honestly, the reason why I even got into the YouTube game was actually because of the Schmoedown. We started that show, and I will say that was the Collider era was my favorite, not just on Schmoedown, but internet era ever. Like,
me too.
I still feel like there's a hole after that Collider era because there's just not a channel that I'm just like that feels it like that one did.
Well, what happened is it was like a show, and then everybody left Collider Live and started their own shit.
But here's the thing, though. Everyone calls it the Collider era, but it was always the Schmoes.
I honestly, I think what it was, I call it the Collider era, not just because of Schmoedown being it, but also around the Collider era, you had Popcorn Talk, which was really doing very well. You had Collider Movie Talk, that was Collider Movie Talk, Heroes, Jedi Council. And I actually technically don't count Collider Live yet because that was actually a little bit later. I think Collider Live actually started at the downturn of Collider.
Yeah, all that other stuff was pretty much gone by the time. Well, except for Heroes.
Yeah, I think after the death of John, I think that was when everything went down.
Man, that was huge.
Yeah, I never thought about it that way. Yeah, pretty much that was it after that, wasn't it?
That was the cornerstone. I think that was.
I'll tell you what. I think between that and him losing his brother was the end for Christian over there too.
Oh, probably more likely.
Well, I think Christian was heading that way anyway. Not even just losing his brother.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. I think that help push him over the edge. Like, I need to do my own, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Well, I think where things went south for him, actually, I think what he should have done is never actually joined with Collider and actually just kept with Schmoes No. I think if he could go back, I think he probably would have done that because I think he actually would have had a channel as big as Jeremy Johns. I think bigger than Campia. I think Christian will still do it. I think Christian's going to do excellent in the long run.
And you would still have all those guys more than likely together in the same place because that's what made the Schmoes magical. It wasn't just Christian and Mark. Like, obviously,
It was
Christian.
It was Riley. It was JTU. And the Wangers. Like,
but the reason why it worked though, I actually put a lot towards Christian. The reason why it works is because Christian is so charismatic with his team that every person is able to be very comfortable. They're able to have a good conversation. And you can actually hear Christian lead the conversations. to where he wants them to go to be very productive. He can make them fun, but you'll notice when he's over it, and I think that's why I don't think SEN Live does as well without Christian there.
Because I haven't watched SEN Live in a long.
I haven't either. I'll be honest. Yeah, I haven't either.
But that's kind of why.
I much prefer the big thing. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Big Things. I mean, Big Thing is Big Thing is so good because Christian is able to get a fun atmosphere with his guests and his host, and having that atmosphere, having someone not just on screen, but they're just hanging out. They can have fun, but you can tell he's leading conversations the way he wants them to, and he is. And what's something else that he's very good with. I think the reason why he's good at it as well is he is politically in the middle, and so he doesn't isolate people from based off their beliefs. He's able to give you that middle. He leans more to the left, but he's still more of a centered person who just wants to have a good conversation.
Yeah,
I would say I wouldn't even know what his politics are, and I think that goes to what you're saying though is that we don't really know if he's left or right. We just know that he does, like you said, he doesn't alienate people. He just keeps it right down the middle. Yeah. Even when he brings up politics, he's very down the middle.
That's my favorite part of him.
He doesn't. Yeah.
To me, I think that's where I think a lot of people have started to fall away after the Collider era, because during the Collider era, yes, some of the hosts would tell some of their politics sometimes, but they were kind of kept to a family-friendly, middle-of-the-road conversation. And that's why I think Collider or Movie Talk was so well done, because you were getting their opinion, but it was still a fun conversation, and you didn't feel like you were being isolated. And you didn't feel like that with any of the, even Popcorn Talk was the same way.
Yeah, for me,
I feel like that goes. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, like, for me, like their opinions and stuff was great to hear, but that's not what sold it for me. It was like you said, the comfortability, like they're friends. It's like you're sitting in with friends, and that's why I always gravitate towards. No, but even like Movie Talk was the same way when you had Campy, Ellis, Harloff, and Schnepp all on the same panel, right? Like
I'm going to Noah.
Yeah, it was.
But even when they started bringing in other people, I mean, Perry Nemiroff and Clark Wolf, I mean, they were all great together. I mean, together, it always seemed fluid. It always seemed natural for them.
Yeah.
What's really fun, bringing that back, my favorite show, and it wasn't on Collider, it was on Popcorn Talk. My favorite, like, hosted shows was DC Movie Talk.
I never watched an episode.
It was. I would say DC Movie Talk was the best. I think it was the best show Roxy has ever been on. I think it was the best. Wow. It showed her strengths the most on that show.
I'm hit or miss with Roxy. I really am. I'm hit or miss with Roxy. I really am overall.
When she's on that show, she is able to she does a very good job, because for her, she does great. Not being the host, but being a co-host, she does incredible because she's actually able to have a good conversation. I think when she's hosting
Live.
Yes, perfect. And she was perfect on DC Movie News. She's perfect working with Christian, because they are a great team together. It's just when she's doing things on her own, I think there is this sense of she's missing that leadership within her, because there are not leaders, not like she's a great leader, but she's not like the charisma that gets a good conversation without someone else there.
Yeah.
Well, see, my thing with her lately, I think, has just been, I don't think she fits with Christian and Brett together.
I honestly,
and I don't think that in a bad way. Like, it's not her fault. I just feel like they have so much inside jokes and inside comedy, and she's always like, "What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?" Do you know? And it's nothing against her. It's not that she's doing anything wrong. It's just I feel like sometimes she brings that show a little bit down for me, because she's just not quite in on what they're doing. And again, that's not her fault. It might be their fault, but.
But honestly, I think that's where I think for me, I actually enjoy that, because that actually brings the audience into the inside jokes, where she is actually helping the audience understand the inside jokes, because if they just did the inside jokes, we as the audience don't know. She's the man on the ground, as they say, for the layman. She's the person who's speaking for the audience. And I think that's why she works so well in the capacity she's on for the big thing. She's us. She's having to be us in those moments because she doesn't know the inside joke. She doesn't know what's going on sometimes. And that's where we are as an audience, basically. Because I think that's the only, I wouldn't say fully negative, but that's the thing that Christian, I think, struggles with sometimes, is remembering what he has talked to other people about and what he has talked about on his show. Because I think, and it can happen to all of us, it just blends together. You talk to everybody so much, you become friends with everyone, it just blends.
Hey, you're not wrong. There's sometimes when I think about like the shows I've done, whatever, it does sometimes blend together, and I forget the timelines and stuff. Yeah.
And I can just say, you can tell based off shows and everything, he is so much happier after the end of the Schmodown.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not surprised. From rumblings you hear, it's just like, it was time to end.
Yeah,
it was it's sad, but I think it was great.
Yeah.
It's sad, but I think a lot of it, the problem with the Schmodown community as a whole, it had started to niche down. And when you niche down, that's when the conversations about tribalism, that's where things happen, when things niche down and you don't have as big of an audience. You don't have normal fans. You get mega fans. All your fans are mega fans. And so because of that, people get very possessive. They actually want to be involved. And the Schmodown was a very different animal where, as a fan, you almost felt like you could be involved with it. You felt like you could be getting into it. Yeah. And because of that, I think in the long run, if anyone ever made a mistake or any drama happened, it caused a division within the entire community because it was such a small community. I mean, Robert Meyer Burnett, the drama there,
I remember that.
That divided a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I think
one of my favorite shows from that time too was Movie Fights, and that all the stuff that happened with that, not that particularly, but that channel. Yeah. I mean that channel was crazy.
The last great hurrah for Movie Fights was when they did that big fundraiser where they had the Collider people over there. That's the last big one that I can remember.
Well, I mean,
I wish there was a show like that again, man. That's a great show. That was a great show.
That's what got me into Schmoes and the Schmodown was that.
Well, the thing is, like and I think the reason why a lot of the Schmodown started to go downhill was because they were bringing in a lot of rookies, which is not a bad thing. But the problem is those rookies were not creating their own brands. They were not creating their own stuff. They were just part of the Schmodown, but they weren't bringing like an Action Industries. They weren't bringing John Roca. They weren't building their name using the Schmodown. And so you weren't actually seeing you didn't actually know why you cared about these people. The beginning of the Schmodown, you watched it not because of the trivia. You watched it because you liked the personalities.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
Me was a little bit of both, but yeah.
Question. I heard somebody say something about there was a beef with Burnett.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was
well, yeah. Do you remember
it was a tweet or something he put out, right?
What happened was it was during the basically it was one part of the riots during 2020.
It was Black Lives Matter something.
Yeah, and basically there was a person who defended his property with a gun, and Burnett was for that and said that it was the right thing. Well, our RB3 got very offended and very upset by the situation. And so he tweeted back at Burnett. Burnett got upset as well. They went back and forth. They both got heated. They both got heated. They got very heated, and so Robert was asked in that moment to leave the Schmodown.
Yeah.
And
What?
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
wasn't. It was. But see, that's the thing, though. It wasn't his original post that got him in trouble. It was
everything else after that.
It was
yeah.
everything
it was
else
after he let his
Yes.
anger over the situation got him into trouble.
So
Yeah.
And
so
the thing
he actually-
is,
it was
He's admitted
justified, but not. But yes, but not. I mean, it was tough.
Yeah.
and the thing is, and the thing is, I think that was the beginning of that was the hardest drama for Christian. I think Christian actually
Probably,
struggled
yeah.
with that.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean that was
Yeah,
I
that
would
was
assume.
yeah, they're good friends. I mean that I love them on when Christian shows
I like
up on
Robert
the
Byer.
show.
I really do. I like him.
I have a theory, but I'm going to share it off camera. But I do have a theory about
Okay.
that.
But I think that's where I say like I think that situation was I think it was just a catalyst. I don't think it was the cause of the Schmodown. I think the Schmodown was losing its identity because it was losing those names and those new because YouTube changed. YouTube changed where there were not these big names in YouTube like movie YouTube. There's so many, but there's no like big channels anymore. Not like there used to.
Oh, you're 100% right. Like look what Screen Junkies is. Now it only produces on its trailers.
Screen Junkies is become a joke now. Sadly,
Yeah, it's a joke. Yeah, it's.
I haven't watched. Basically, I haven't watched since Dan Moore left.
It's fine. Like I Honest Trailers has not been as good in a while. It's not as funny. It still gets great views, but it's honestly all that channel is for is to get views on the on Honest Trailers. Nothing massive, but there's no real big names within the movie space like there used to. It's you get a couple, but none that you're just like. I mean, Real Rejects are still pretty big. I mean, they're over 1 million subscribers. I mean, John Campea is big. Technically, I would say like Jeremy Johns and everything is big, but I don't think that they bring a community with them. Though I think they're not.
I love Double Toasted. Do you guys watch them at all?
Oh yeah, they're
I'm
so
actually
funny.
being
Those
honest,
two are great, man.
I stopped watching a lot of that type of content probably about a year and a half ago, just because it got to the point that holy shit, there's an ambulance outside my building. Ambulance and fire truck. Anyways, no, it just got kind of to the point where it just didn't become must see TV for me anymore, and I just stopped watching, and over time just moved on. So I honestly don't even know who's still doing what now.
Well, that's honestly, I think a lot of it is, I think the field got bigger.
Yeah,
but it became. Also, I think another issue for a lot of people was the digital era. People got tired of watching StreamYard shows.
Yeah, you're not wrong there.
I mean, people are not the biggest fan of StreamYard shows. It's just they're fine for like if you're wanting to have a hangout like we're doing right now.
Again, we are celebrating YouTube show on StreamYard.
Our channel runs off StreamYard. You should have told us this before, man.
Well, I say like a hangout show works incredible, and like certain shows do really well. I think as time goes on, there's going to be different technology that you can do this even better, and there will be ways that you can upgrade to make things better. Like for me, I'm always looking at what's the next step, what's the next thing when it comes to YouTube.
Yeah.
Right now, YouTube's heading towards shorts. I mean, that's the goal of YouTube. And long form shows like the movie talk era, I don't think can actually work on YouTube anymore.
See.
Now,
unless
for the movie sphere, yes.
The movie sphere, yes. Other stuff, other stuff like politics. You're gonna get long form no matter what.
Yeah, I watch there's a lot of long form wrestling out there.
Yeah. That side of stuff, yes. The movie side, people like quick information on that side, and I think they always have in a way. It's just there's only certain people who have been able to handle long form. That's why
I think the more entertaining you are, it can definitely help in the long form. I think like with us, we're pretty much the next generation because we've had like in all shit. I had to thought about it the other day because it's like, all right, you had Jeremy Johns, you had Camp, you had Collider and Christian, you had Schmoes, Screen Junkies, but like those were like the major. I mean, I'd even throw Tyrone Magnus in there too.
Oh yeah.
But like those are your major ones. Now, with things kind of changing, and I guess like folks maybe falling off, maybe it's just they want to hear new voices, and there may not be enough of them, or like channels aren't as big that they haven't just come across yet.
I think there's a lot of them. I think that's why. I think you have so many newer movie channels that popped up during COVID that now the market has become so oversaturated that there's not enough to go around for everyone. They're going for
music reviews. Music reviews. Everybody does music reviews now. Everybody reviews music. I mean, there's thousands of channels that review music.
And that's why you learning how to be. I think that's why YouTube is so hard today, because you are always trying to look at how can I learn how from these other channels, but also be better and different.
I think that's where podcasting does come into play. I've been saying that a lot. Like I've sat and I've crunched the numbers and heard the numbers and the stats. It's like you have 29 million YouTube channels, but then you have only 800,000 and some change podcasts. So if you're able to, I mean, numbers wise, you'll have a better chance with your podcast because you have a lot of people that they're just able to listen and they can't watch.
But here's the thing about podcasting, and I'm sorry to cut you off. You get rid of the fan interaction with your podcast rather than YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a very fair point.
I think we did a good off-camera discussion, but
for sure,
you just have to figure out what you want to do with your content. Do you want numbers, or do you just want to have fun? And community.
And like and I'm gonna be honest, like with my channel, we're doing it now for more of the numbers and for growing as a channel. I mean that's what I mean. We're having fun doing reactions. We love doing the shows. Like we're loving that part of it. But at the end of the day, we are doing it to grow as a channel, to be a bigger channel. I mean that's my goal. I mean, my goal is for us to build connections, to build a community where people can feel accepted and feel like they can just share what they enjoy. But at the end of the day, we're trying to grow a bigger community, and that's the goal of the Galaxies. That's what our goal is as time goes on, and we're going to continue to. I'm going to keep trying to figure out ways of growing the community, growing out channels, gaining subscribers. That's just, that's kind of what I'm looking at.
So where do you think it's going eventually? I mean, do you think it's going to be to the point where it's going to have to be like channels Voltron up and join together and almost have like
opposite. I think it's the opposite.
You think it's going to be more solo stuff?
Solo, short form. Sometimes you can connect with other people, but it is going to be so short form. Shorts are going to be king next year. Like next year, once YouTube changes the monetization of shorts, they're doing that next year.
Yeah.
It's going to be massive. You're going to see shorts everywhere. Things are going to be niching down, where you're going to be put into your corner of the movie side, and that's where you're going to stay. And I don't think the collaborations are going to be as big as what they used to. I think you're going to have to find ways of attracting an audience from your content, not from having like guests don't actually bring subscribers anymore. Other channels like saying your name in like their show, like, oh, you should check out this show. That no one ever checks out their show, even if they advertise it, because that's not people click on videos. They don't click on someone else's video. That they go for a certain content that they enjoy, and if they enjoy this content, they'll click on it. if they like the thumbnail, like thumbnails matter so much because they see the thumbnail, it's like, ooh, that's very clickable. I want to see what this is about, and then they might stick around for the charisma of that person or what that group is talking about. They might really enjoy it and want to be a part of that community because of that. But the way of YouTube is changing, and I think there are good things about it and bad things. The good thing is, I truly believe anyone can grow to be a massive channel now. I think with the idea of shorts, with what you can do with shorts, I think anyone can become a big channel.
Yeah.
The bad thing is you lose.
Like with the, well, my question is this then. So like I notice, especially with like Christian, well, everybody does it now, but where they break up their longer videos into shorter clips.
Actually, those don't actually work either.
No,
they work within shorts, but not, because you'll notice Christian has stopped doing that as well. That the only person who's able to do that is John Campia. That's the only person that's able to really do that right now. We did that for a while when we did a live show. We were clipping out our videos, but they just did garbage. They didn't do anything past that. Honestly, where things are going, yes, short form is good, but they really are looking more at shorts that send someone to your live show or to your bigger show. That's how you're using shorts in a lot of ways. It really is it's a different game. And even Christian hasn't yet, but he will next year. And I if I were ever to encourage him, I would say to really double down on this. Is you're noticing he's not really doing much shorts. He did for a little bit, but kind of stopped. That's where I think he, as a content creator, he's got to jump into it with both feet, because right now is the perfect time to do shorts when not everyone is doing it yet because it's so new. But if you can get it at the ground level right now, then you can really explode and grow very quickly. Like honestly, we've grown a lot of subscribers because of our shorts, and that's where the content is right now. That's where the growth is. And I don't think long form is for your community. Long form videos is for your community. Short form videos are for your subscribers. That's kind of how I look at content.
I guess I'm just a different kind of listener because I work for Amazon. I deliver for Amazon, so I'm in a truck all day. So it's hard for me to listen to short videos because I'm constantly in and out of the truck, and I can't touch my phone really much at all. So for me, 2 hours, I'm looking for anything 2 hours or more, just because it's easy to just turn it on, let it play in the background, and go.
Yeah.
But when I'm sitting here at my computer or on my phone watching something, I'm looking for 10, 5, 8, 12-minute videos. That's kind of what I'm looking at, except for maybe Chris. If I catch the big show or something, or big thing, something like that. But even then, I'll try to watch the shorter clips. So I can kind of hop around, because I'll watch 1 or 2 clips from Christian, then I'll hop to Double Toasted, then I'll hop to them, then I'll go check out one of our videos. I'm always hopping around, kind of.
And that's why, maybe
I'm just a different kind of listener than most people are.
No, you're similar to most of your age range, and our age range actually. It's the age range underneath me. The younger millennials to Gen Z, that age group is more focused on short form, because at the same time, most of them don't have a lot of them don't have that type of job. A lot of them are leaning more towards doing TikTok. TikTok is so massive, and so that short form is what YouTube is trying to go for, and I get why they're doing it, and I think YouTube will end up taking out TikTok in the long run.
Oh yeah.
I mean, here's an interesting question though, and I think this might have bearing on what we're talking about going forward. Is I don't know if this is particularly political or not, but with everything that's going on with Elon Musk and Twitter, I mean, he's every day now talking about how this Twitter could go bankrupt in any minute.
Well, that's because he's making it bankrupt.
Well, again, I'm not getting into the I'm just trying to say, just in general, if that tanks, how does that affect everything going forward? Because now, Twitter really is the fuel of the fire.
I was thinking about that as well. Like, what's going to happen? Like, how is everyone going to get? Like, for me, that's where I get my wrestling news, my hockey news, and and movie news and stuff. How's that? Yeah, where am I going to get that all in one place now? Right?
But I think that's why other social media apps are popping up now too, and other platforms that you can get. Like, I don't know much about this other one, like Mastodon, and then there's this.
I thought it was another one called
Mastodon's not going to work. Personally, honestly, when it comes to Twitter, I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's going down." Honestly, I think Twitter might be in the best place it's ever been.
Oh,
yes, I actually do. I think Twitter is probably in the best place it's ever been. Right now, there's a lot of tweaks happening. I think Elon Musk is trying certain things, but he's trying certain things. Twitter was going down the drain before Elon Musk touched it. It was going bankrupt already.
Yeah, true. He just added
exactly.
And so, but here's the thing: he gave it a income source. Twitter didn't have an income. What they did with that verification was actually very genius, because what they did
it's already over now. It's over now. It ended.
Oh, yeah, that's done, because everyone was so.
It lasted 48 hours.
Oh, is that done?
Everybody that paid for that blue check is done. They're all gone now.
Yeah, so
you can't pay for it now.
Oh, I still have the check mark.
You paid for it.
You might be. You're probably verified though, legitimately. Oh, did you? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They were saying that people were literally waking up to no check mark anymore after they paid for it.
No, I still have it. I still have it on mine. I
know you can't subscribe for it anymore. They took down the subscription part of it. You can't buy one anymore. Yeah.
Good thing I did when I did.
Well, because there was like 800 of everybody out there. I mean, there was literally like 800 of everybody.
And then
Elon Musk got his.
Somebody impersonated LeBron and said, "That's it. I'm requesting a change from the trade for the Lakers." You're like, "What?" And then somebody did it for Connor McDavid of the NHL. I'm like, "Oh, come on."
But honestly, though, I know.
Well,
it's all
Elon Musk got his feelings hurt because everybody was.
I know it's all very messy. But honestly, I know it's very messy. But that's why I say I actually think Twitter is probably going to be in the best place it is. Because you actually have a creator who is willing to try things. You had a board with Twitter, and this might be controversial, I know, that was leaning towards one political party. And because of that, it was isolating people away from the platform. And there was no outlet or income source for Twitter. So people were feeling isolated. There was only one type of voice on Twitter. And there was that was what was going on. Elon Musk came in and said, "You know what? I don't care what your political idea is. Everyone's open. Everybody can talk. That's what Twitter was meant to be." And so he let it be the Wild West. And that's why I think in the long run, it's going to be messy at the beginning. But I think if he's able to bring in Vine back and create something better, I think you're going to actually see. Because look at it this way, Twitter, like the verification system that they did with Twitter Blue, they did that very quickly. Like that was up and ready within 2 weeks of him buying Twitter. Mm-hmm. That's insane. That most apps, most people don't work that quickly. He did because he's willing.
Yeah, but they also said that a lot of the things that he's been announcing that he wants to do with Twitter, he fired most of the teams that were working on those projects and would have brought them out. But it's almost like he's
even that. But what he's doing there is the reason why he got rid of a lot of the original people as well. If you're coming into a team, and this happens a lot, where when you come into a company, when you come into a team, and I'm not saying this is a good thing. I'm just saying this is what happens. You come in and you bring in your people. You want your people because you trust them. That's why every president.
That's fair, but I think going forward, it's going to be harder to hire people, though. If you just come in and mass fire everybody, I don't want to go work for that company. I'm sorry.
I mean,
I don't.
David,
yes, but there's a lot of people.
And once you realize
sure. No,
it's come out that once they realize that they tried to bring these people back, and then people are like, "Screw you."
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Yep.
But that's why I say I think.
Yep, he begged. Apparently begged people to come back, and they were like, "Nope."
Yeah.
But that's why I say and I might be absolutely wrong. And in the long run, they might end up canceling everything and having to do something else, and that might happen. But I just have a feeling Twitter was going downhill already because it was losing money hand over fist. And the fact he's willing to at least try stuff tells me that he is wanting to build it. I look at it the same way as like when we talk
I think
about
he has
Christian.
no choice. You think he has no choice? It was only worth $9 billion. He paid $44 for it. He has no choice but to make it.
Remember, he wanted out of that deal.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at like Christian. Christian is the reason why I think Christian will always succeed is because he's never afraid to not try. I think the people who become stagnant and just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, those are the people that I say will not succeed in life in the long run. But those who are willing to experiment and try, I think those people will succeed more.
Well, I think Elon Musk is very good at hiring people to make him look smart.
Yeah,
that's what I've always thought about.
I'll agree with that. But here's the thing too. Something
always
I
hires
about
the right
Elon,
people to make him look smart.
Well, but I'll say this about Elon as well. Elon does not worry about money like most people do.
No,
I mean, he's super rich, but he's not materialistic with that money, which is very interesting.
But he also doesn't have his priorities in a row. Like, would you rather have him try to maybe help the economy or try to launch a spaceship to Mars? Like,
but even on that side of it, if you're able to, like, remember the space race for America actually helped our economy and actually helped our country as a whole. Because giving people aspirations for a future, for something bigger and greater, actually ends up helping people be inspired and to do more and to invent and to try to do more. Like that's why like getting to Mars advanced our technology so much, or not Mars, to the moon, advanced our technology so much because they had to keep trying certain things to get there. So stuff like that actually is a good thing in the long run, because honestly, Elon Musk could actually not help our economy whatsoever. There is nothing he could do to help the economy. Not with any of his money, because the economy is based on people buying and selling. If they're able to buy and sell, they're going to have a better economy. If you're not able to buy and sell, worse economy. That's how the American capitalism worked for so long.
And so many Republicans, there's a lot of people who are trying to stop that.
Oh, I know, but that's why it went for so long, why the American system worked as long as it did. Not good or bad, but that's why it worked for as long as it did, because that was where
that's all you guys knew.
That's it.
I feel like he gets in his own way though. Look at Tesla. Tesla was on a super upward trajectory, and all those things started coming in after he fired a few people that were like the main people to develop that technology, and then his car started crashing into each other and the battery started lighting on fire. That's the thing. He hires very well to make himself look smart, but then once they accomplish what he wants or kind of wants, then he wants all the credit and fires them. So it's like,
I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all.
If you want to be the smartest man alive or pretend that you are, you can't fire the people that are smarter than you that you hired in the first place to do your job. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird how he runs his businesses. I mean, the guy, he convinced LA to let him build tunnels. That's not a small feat. That's not a small feat.
No, it's not.
The problem is, what did he deliver? He delivered a regular tunnel with LED lights in it instead of what we were supposed to get, which is a 400 mile an hour, tunnel
super
system with whatever it was supposed to be. But that's the problem. Like, he created a boring company to make those tunnels, and then all he did was make a regular tunnel with LED lights in it. And it's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you have all these people that work for you that are smarter than you. Why are you even talking anymore? Like, why don't you just get out of your own way? Like, I don't know. It just seems like for somebody that tries to be as smart as he does, he makes some of the dumbest decisions I've ever seen him make. I don't know.
I
I have a love-hate relationship with Elon Musk overall. He's a weird character.
So that season of House of Dragon, that was pretty good, wasn't it?
Nice, Ben.
Hated it.
Nice
They
job.
know we
Nice
want
job.
it.
Hated it.
Oh,
Yeah, you didn't watch it. Fuck.
Dare Rhaenyra think that she could get the throne after all that crap.
I love that.
Family
Wrong with
matters.
her.
Just so you guys know, I don't give two shits about spoilers.
That show to me.
Oh, sorry.
Is
Have you not watched
easily
it? Sorry.
No, I haven't watched it, but you know what? There's very few things that I don't like to hear spoilers on, and so for the most part, I don't care.
Well, I think for that show though, I if I'm going to say anything about it, I think the politics within that show and the quiet moments and the conversations between characters. You did not even have to have a fight in that show. You didn't have to have action. You were drawn by the tension of characters interacting with each other. And you knew every line, every character's decisions mattered. And that's why I think that show succeeded so well.
And
I like it better than the first season of Game of Thrones. I really do.
Oh, easily.
Bastards!
I just do.
Oh, it's...
Matt, you know how much I like Matt Smith and Doctor Who?
Yes.
Matt Smith and House of Dragon is my new favorite Matt Smith character.
Man.
Whoa, more than Morbius?
Yes, more than Morbius.
Speaking of Doctor,
I didn't forget about that movie.
Speaking of Doctor Who, how are y'all liking the fact that David Tennant's coming back for the special?
I'm really intrigued, man. I'm really curious to see if it's like the Celestial's toy maker or something like that messing with the timeline.
I will say I am excited to get back in. I actually dropped off during the last Doctor. It wasn't because it was a female. It was just because the stories just weren't compelling at the beginning.
I fell off during Capaldi's era, so for similar reasons.
Capaldi's last season was rough.
Yeah.
I think I was not a fan of Billy as a companion, even though her ending was so dark.
I don't know.
I know nothing.
That's what I was gonna say. That's one show that missed me. So unfortunately, I don't know.
I've got the screwdriver. I've got Smith screwdriver tattooed right there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but
nice.
Oh wow,
nice.
Yeah. No, it definitely the special that we just had, The Power of the Doctor, was the first new Who I'd watched since.
Was it good?
Since Whitaker joined. Was
it any good?
I enjoyed it. It definitely got me. There was a lot of cool like nods to the past and stuff. I thought it was well done. I thought it was really well done. It left me in a place of okay, I can't wait to see where they go next.
I will say,
and you know what? I'm sorry to say this. Maybe I'm not. I think a lot of it has to do with Tennant coming back.
Yeah, maybe.
I feel the same way because he was like the best Doctor.
Yeah.
And he brings it next year. I think that's exciting as hell.
I think
the fact we're getting Donna Noble, who, because of the way they wrote her character off, we never thought we'd see again in a Doctor Who story. And then we're getting, in my opinion, one of the most beloved secondary characters of all Doctor Who, and Wilfred Mott back in what turns out to be Bernard Cribbins, one of his last roles, because he unfortunately just passed away not that long ago. So there's a lot of goodwill to it, plus the fact that Russell T Davies, who is the architect of bringing Doctor Who back from the dead, like there's a lot of good things going into this.
You know what's really funny, even with that though, is he brought it back from the dead, and now he's bringing it back in a sense to a completely new era because it's going to be streaming to Disney Plus. That's where it's and they upped the budget to the show to the same budget as Mandalorian.
I was talking to my friend 50 about that because he's like the biggest Doctor Who fan I know. Yeah. And because I was under the impression as well, and he says he hasn't read anything about that being actually confirmed.
Oh, I saw it confirmed where basically it's going to be the same budget as Mandalorian.
Oh wow! Okay,
yeah, $100 million.
Whoa.
Yeah, okay, wow, that's gonna be crazy.
Because they believe that the Doctor Who can be as big as Star Wars. They truly believe.
Totally, it's all there. It's just
And
it's all
and
there.
somewhere on the other side of the planet right now, Fifty is waking up so excited because of that.
Oh yeah, he woke up in such a cold sweat. It's like they're talking about who?
Oh, where's he at? Where's he at?
Pretty much. Yeah, he's getting ready. He's getting some sleep. He's got a wedding to go to.
I hate to say it, man. I think Star Wars is going to get taken over.
I think Star Wars. I think the way that they are handling the future of the Mandalorian series and what they are building with that, I think once Mandalorian comes back, you're going to see such a love of Star Wars come back. Because yes, there's been some negatives, but I think I saw it this Halloween. Me and my wife dressed up I went as Luke Skywalker and she dressed up as Ahsoka. And it was so fun. We dressed up and we had like a candy bowl and we had like a moving Grogu in it. And every single kid that walked up freaked out saying, "Oh, Baby Yoda, baby!" Like they freaked out. And that's what told me The Mandalorian succeeded where no other Star Wars has. It brought imagination and joy to kids. And the sequels didn't do that. Nothing else did, but Grogu did. And it made everyone come back to Star Wars from one character. And I think they will continue as they continue that story. You're going to see such a love come back during Mandalorian season 3, and it's going to continue in Ahsoka. I think that time frame, those stories are where the plan is. That's where you see the plan. We just haven't really seen a lot from Mandalorian since Boba Fett. And remember, those episodes of Boba Fett, people flipped out because they didn't care about Boba Fett. They cared about the Mandalorian Grogu.
Yeah. Oh, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's going to go away. I just feel like with Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings now, if that hits big again, in season 2, I mean, there's just so many other things out there that I think people are going to gravitate to that are actually good. Marvel, DC, if they turn things around.
Yeah, if Gunn can work his magic.
I mean, look, they could be at the bottom. They could unfortunately find themselves at the bottom of the, geek totem pole. Unfortunately,
I would say I don't think Lord of the Rings will actually be that high. Lord of the Rings was such a slow burn at the very beginning that actually a lot of people jumped out. When
I saw it in the theaters for the first time.
Well, I think a lot of the numbers behind Lord of the Rings that they're showing aren't as accurate as what you would hope to be. Like, because how it sounds, what they did for the finale, they kick people off of the show, and they have to re-click to get back on the show, and that counted as 2 votes or 2 views instead of just 1. So it doubled their numbers a lot. And that happened to a lot of people.
I would say that it sounds as though Luke wants a job over at Lucasfilm, taking over for Kathleen Kennedy. Now, if you call on your friend who broke the bat, I'll definitely make that happen for you. We can.
I do not. That is, I would rather do anything but take over Star Wars. I would give it to Filoni and Favreau and say, have fun.
Yeah, I'll be like, I'll sign the checks, do whatever the heck you want.
Just go. Favreau, Filoni, go. I mean, because here's the thing. Everything that those two have touched with Star Wars has been gold.
So why don't they realize that? Why don't they just put them in place? I mean, there could be, isn't there not room for promotion? I don't understand.
Because Kathleen Kennedy is an old school producer that her idea of creating movies and franchises is, this director looks great. Let's give it to this director and let them play with our toys. I don't care what the toys.
It really worked for her.
But you realize the dinosaurs don't exist anymore for a reason. So why are we still doing?
That's what she's doing. She's going off of old school Hollywood. She's thinking that she wants to let each director have their vision and just let them go. And sometimes it works. Like Andor is working great, but that's all Tony Gilroy. That's the only reason it's good is because of they let him just do his story, and they did not care anything else because it doesn't connect to anything but Rogue One. It's not really like a show that's going to move the full plot of Star Wars towards anything. It's just a cool story that's happening before Rogue One. And that's why they're doing it. It doesn't lead to the grander story. It's just a side story that's happening. And so that's what's, I think, where Star Wars is failing is they don't have, I mean, that's the biggest thing. They don't have a plan. I think The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, those storylines, there's a plan that's going to lead to the Thrawn story, like basically, I think you're going to see a massive storyline with Mandalorian, Ahsoka, all of them intersecting, trying to take down Thrawn. That's the story where it's leading.
See, then I wish they would have done a Thrawn series then.
Well, that's what you're getting. That's what you're getting. Well, Thrawn was introduced in Rebels, which was done very well, and now with Ahsoka, they're going to build up Thrawn in Ahsoka. And I think you'll also hear about him more in Mandalorian.
Here's the issue with that. Me and Bev have talked about this a lot, is how many outside of Star Wars fans are they going to be able to pull in to Ahsoka and stuff like that? Because a lot of people only know Ahsoka. They don't know Ahsoka from Rebels. They know Ahsoka from Mandalorian.
But they don't have to.
When they start telling the story that nobody's ever heard before or knows what's going on, I don't know how many outside fans are going to get with that. It's going to be tough.
Honestly, it's not as hard as you would think. This is what they're going to do. This is how they're going to market it. You're going to have Ahsoka as the main character. They're going to have another episode of her in The Mandalorian this season. Almost guarantee it for season 3.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
it will they've already hyped her character up because of The Mandalorian. People loved her in The Mandalorian. Also, you've already given her connections to Luke from Boba Fett, which actually sends people more towards Ahsoka. Ahsoka has lightsabers, so that makes kids want to watch it more. Plus, you also have the fact of Anakin Skywalker is going to be showing up as a Force ghost in this show. So you bring in the marketing at least a glimpse of him as a Force ghost. You bring in your old fans, you bring in new fans. Ahsoka's in good hands. I'm not worried about Ahsoka when it comes to the
no, I'm not either, because I think I'm going to get exactly what I want out of the show. What I'm saying is we are picking up this story kind of at like the 3/4 mark or 2/3 mark.
No, yes and no. But remember, Rebels was not focused on Ahsoka. Ahsoka was actually doing her own thing throughout the story. She was in like 2 or 3 episodes. I mean, she really wasn't in that show much. You're picking up her perspective on these characters. You like when you watch the first time you see Ahsoka in Mandalorian. My dad, I look at most things like I see my dad, because my dad's just a movie lover. He's not like this big fan of stuff. He just loves movies.
Sure.
He loved the Ahsoka episode. He didn't care that she brought up Thrawn. She's like, he was just like, oh, who's that dude? Yeah. And so it just brought mystery behind it. He didn't have to watch anything with Rebels. It helped if you knew what was going on, but he didn't have to. And that's what good writing does.
But this story picks up with, that's the thing. It's just weird because who's Ezra? Who's Ezra?
Well, here's the thing too.
I know, but I'm saying when you're, but like you said, when you're trying to talk to your dad, like now you have, when you watch the first couple episodes of Ahsoka, you have to explain who Ezra is, who Thrawn is, why they're in this other world, why she cares, why she's looking for him.
Let me ask you this:
there's a lot to explain.
But what about the Darksaber? How didn't they handle it well, and you didn't have to explain it to the casual that much?
I mean, I think because I knew so much about it.
Yes,
but I think a lot of people have a lot of questions about it. I guarantee if you ask most people about the Darksaber, they're just gonna be like, "Oh yeah, it's from Mandalorian."
Yeah, and that's all they have to know. But that's all they have to know because they give enough groundwork.
I don't know about that.
And that's the same thing with
I would disagree on, because I'm such a lore person. Like, I love the lore. So, like, for me, I think knowing the lore matters so much.
I think I'm a big lore person too. But when I look at the episodes of Boba Fett and Ahsoka, when Ahsoka showed up in Boba Fett with Luke, people did not care anything but just, oh my goodness, Ahsoka, Luke Skywalker, this is amazing. We don't care about anything else.
This show's not going to have that. This show's not going to have Luke or Grogu.
Luke's popping up at least 1 to 2 episodes.
In Ahsoka?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
She's gonna be in the outer whatever it's called most of the show.
You will get at least
maybe the first episode if we get anybody.
Oh, hold on, Josh. Did you want to say something?
Sorry, Josh.
My whole thing because I'm enjoying you two like sharing ideas. The only thing I have is to that point. Why not, as people have been saying, if you're going to do this and those problems, you're trying to develop more fans, why not just do what started it all and just make it a freaking movie again? Like, I feel like the thing is, I feel like I don't know what it is right now, but it seems like people are so focused on, I don't know if TV is just becoming a bigger medium than movies or something right now. And it seems like it's leaning that way. I will always prefer. I mean, look, love TV, but I'm always preferring movies over. Like that's just me because that's how my love for all of this started. But why not just go back to your roots where you started and just make that a new trilogy? Do it better than your sequels. I haven't watched any of them, but from hearing you guys talk enough and friends over the years, pretty much say these are literally what fell out of a dog's ass, and Just why not make it a movie? I don't know what's so hard about that.
Because like Luke said, they don't have a plan, and Kathleen Kennedy will not get out of her own damn way to run Lucasfilm or at least the Star Wars portion of it correctly.
But also too, something I will say when it comes to movies and TV shows, with the TV shows, you have so much more time to develop characters and help people fall in love with these characters.
Yeah.
You have seen such a development from Grogu throughout the Mandalorian, throughout him showing up in Boba Fett. You've had time to fall in love with that character. In a movie, you're seeing him maybe 10 minutes throughout the entire movie because he is just a distraction in a movie. In a show, you can develop it. In a movie, he's popping in 10 minutes. Oh, cute. He's a Baba Frick. That's what he is.
Hold on. Let me say something really quick.
Sure.
I like where you're at, Luke, but let's be honest here. In the Mandalorian episode 1, season 1, everybody already fell in love with Baby Yoda because he's so cute.
Yes.
Yep.
You didn't need to build him up. People were already in love with him.
Well, they fell in love with him in that moment, but you were giving throughout the show more reasons to fall in love. There was so much more layers to it. There was so much development. That moment where Grogu is sitting there in front of Luke, and Luke is giving him the option to either take the Mandalorian armor or take the lightsaber. In that moment, without development, without anything that you've seen Grogu go through with seeing that father figure of Din, that scene doesn't work in a movie because you don't have enough time to develop. Because Grogu doesn't talk. Grogu is a baby who's just walking around and eats frogs a lot.
Yeah, right.
But you're able to develop enough of the story throughout a show where that moment is so pivotal to the entire series, because it's that decision of, do I want to be a Jedi right now, or do I want to be like my father, a Mandalorian?
Yeah, but see, here's the way I kind of look at it. So there's a scene in that Luke episode, or from Boba Fett, with Ahsoka, Luke, and Grogu, where it's Luke and Ahsoka talking, and they're having that conversation, and he says to her, she says to him, "You remind me of your father." That to me is the biggest line in that entire episode.
Oh yeah.
But how many people that don't know Star Wars does that line even matter? I don't think I think it matters
anything
to them.
It matters enough because people know who his father is. So that's all.
But nobody knows that. But most people don't understand. Without Clone Wars and Rebels, you don't understand Ahsoka and Anakin's bond, which makes that line hit so much harder. And that's what I feel like people are going to be missing.
But honestly, even that though, that's the point. For you and for me who have watched all throughout, that scene is so powerful. But If you haven't, and you just go to the movie or go to the show and you see that line, from just the small info you have from Star Wars, you know Luke's father was Anakin. You know, at one time he was a Jedi and we assume that he was friends with Ahsoka. The line still hits, even if you don't know the history. It doesn't hit as much.
Know.
I mean, because
I know what you're saying, though. I know what you're saying, though. Yeah.
For the I'm talking more the casual. Like these moments that we're talking about is for the diehard. We eat this stuff up. We live.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, definitely, absolutely.
But the casual fan, they're just wanting a fun story. They're just wanting to move forward with a story that's fun. And that's why I say, because I can say this. And the reason why Andor is made for the hardcore. It's not being made for the casual. That's why it's not doing well. That's why I think.
I mean, but even let's talk about Andor, the last episode. My favorite scene in that whole episode is that final scene with Luthen. It's not even the breakout. It's none of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's that scene with Luthen. And honestly, the other scene that I love is that Mon Mothma scene.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because, like you said, they're actually drawing these characters out. They're giving them time to develop. They're giving them character. I mean, that's what they're doing. Where this would not work in a movie.
But because it's so niched and it's a slower show. You almost have to know. It's made for the diehards, and that's a good thing. I mean, it's really great for someone who loves Star Wars, who's been sticking with it. But in the long run, they have to go back to more Mandalorian style shows because the Mandalorian was the best balance of. That's why I say it had the best balance. It had the best lore and fun. It was both. Like you had the best lore Mandalorian hands down of any of the other Disney Plus shows, but it was still fun. You still had a fun time watching. You wanted to go to it week to week. There was anticipation. Andor is a great show, but it's a very thinking show. It's a very grounded, very sophisticated show where you're having to soak it in. You don't get that. Mandalorian's not that. It's just fun.
And then, funny enough, Taco just goes here. I'm not because I haven't had dinner yet, and I've been neglecting my dog all day, so I should probably go spend time with him.
Fair enough. So no, thank you for coming.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Thank you, man. I
love seeing you, Soda.
A lot of you guys kind of reminded me about some of the things I enjoyed about podcasting once upon a time. So congratulations on 100 subscribers, guys, and I'll see you guys later.
Thanks, Soda.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, later.
See you, Soda.
No, look, I mean, I don't quite disagree with you. I just think of all the shows right now coming out, like Ahsoka's the one I've been looking forward to the most because she literally behind Boba Fett and Luke is my favorite character.
Ahsoka's.
So I'm ready for Ahsoka.
Awesome.
Oh wow!
But I don't know. I just am scared of how it's going to hit. And honestly, Ben's the one that really has brought that up to me a few times because I think I'm going to get out of this show exactly what I want. I'm going to get season 5 of Rebels. I can't wait.
I think honestly, I think Ahsoka is going to hit so.
I hope so.
Well, I mean, because look at it this way: Mandalorian. Why did people end up tuning in the Mandalorian? It's not a character that anyone knew about. It was a random character that there had no history whatsoever. You fell in love because it had great character arcs. You had great stories with Baby Yoda showing up, and it was very, very well made. You had fun each week. You were throwing lore in for the diehards that we kept eating it up week to week to week, where it was like, ooh, something else juicier. Oh, Ahsoka showing up, and it made the diehards really love it, and it pushed it out to the casual person, and then the casual person was like, "Wow, I want to watch this." Everyone's just talking so highly. That's why Obi-Wan ended up failing in the long run.
Can I ask you guys? Okay, how did you all feel about Deborah Chow's direction in that?
Honestly, I think the problem with Obi-Wan, it should have been a movie, not a show. And they had to add a lot to that show to make it long enough for a show. That should have been a movie. Adding the Inquisitor in it, I don't blame the actress. I think she did an excellent job for the role she was given. but she shouldn't have been added to that role. They should not have done. They did her wrong. They did her very wrong because that's not the story people went to Obi-Wan for. They went for Obi-Wan versus Vader. That's why they went for it. And that's a movie. That's not really a show. That's
fair. I don't know. I mean, I think I got enough out of that show, but I
had fun with it. I love the Vader fight. I loved a lot of it.
Oh,
I think that in the long run, that show will not be as loved because I think it was a very sloppy writing. It doesn't make you, if you don't have that show, if you just like completely don't have it, it's not needed. Like you still have the fight from Mustafar that you could say that fits in well with episode 4. You don't really, it's not really helping fix anything. It's just kind of added, and they didn't have great enough writing to make it work.
Well, I think also too, after coming off of Boba Fett and not getting what the trailers told us we were getting, and I think really going into this show, as far as with the trailers and how everybody pitched it, we didn't get that show. We didn't get what they told us we were getting for the Obi-Wan show. We just didn't.
No.
The Obi-Wan show was told to us as a deep, introspective look into their relationship and how they're dealing with it now. And unfortunately, we didn't get that. Now, like I said, I got enough out of the show. I love the show more than most. But I think that was part of it was you can't lie. You can't lie to the people. Where like Andor is exactly what it said it was going to be. It's a political thriller.
Well, that's where it goes down to the Kathleen Kennedy problem of giving each director their control.
Taco! Sorry to interrupt Luke.
Right there.
He was talking.
Man, I see how it is.
I didn't mean to. He brought me in. He could have waited until you're done with your sentence. Don't get mad at me.
Dude, I'm always going to be mad.
He didn't even give you an introduction or anything, man. He just brought you in. And
I know. I was waiting. It was while Luke was talking. He goes, "Here he is," and that was my introduction. Here he is.
Fine, Mom. Where are you? North Dakota, South Dakota? I always forget. Here's Taco. There you go.
There's Taco.
So I just got done doing my show, and then I flipped on. I'm like, oh, they're still doing this. I'm gonna jump on. So then I was wondering where my wife was, and then I got a snap from her that says, "Hey, I was supposed to be home 2 hours ago. I don't know when I'll be home." So I'm like, okay. That must have been a late text because now I'm jumping in to get in and I see that she pulls up. So then I had to run out to her car. My phone was already down here. And I was like, can I keep live streaming? She's like, hurry up. You don't got long. I want to go to bed. So I'm in here until she opens the door and gives me a...
Oh, I understand that completely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Married streamers know that one.
The
wife gives you that.
Right there with
I'm in the same boat. Like I'm gonna have to cut out probably in like next 10-15 minutes. Or
we're going to wrap up soon. Okay. We're talking Star Wars anyway, so perfect time for you to hop on.
Could I echo something that Luke...
Tell us why Ahsoka will suck. No.
Well, I don't know why. I don't know why it will suck. No, I want to echo what Luke said. So as I was, peeing right before I jumped on, like everybody does right before a stream, Luke was saying in my ear, it's Mandalorian did so good, and it's not about it's a TV show about blank. It's because it's well directed, well acted, well written, good cinematography. And guess what? That's actually what makes anything fucking good. Like it's not. I'm tired of the MCU idea of, oh, it's a character we like, so therefore people are going to buy it. I don't care if it's about this person or this person. Make a good thing.
Yeah. And actually, what's funny is that idea, I think, is where Marvel actually succeeded in the past.
Absolutely. That's where DC fails.
Right. No, you're right.
Well, it's no problem. James Gunn just got there, so let's give him a
let's
minute.
Give him some time. Let's give him some time.
Let's give him some time before he fails.
In going with what you just said about Marvel, what is your favorite phase 1? I think it's phase 1, or maybe it's phase 2. Yeah, what's your favorite phase 2 Mine is Guardians of the Galaxy. And no one knew what that was. Like us really hardcore Marvel guys did. I did, but me and 3 other freaking people. And why was it good? Good acting, good writing, good directing. Like that's it.
Did you like Guardians over the Winter Soldier?
For phase 2, I think Guardians over Winter Soldier, but I think Winter Soldier is my second.
Oh, wow.
Well, but
I don't care.
Wow.
I don't care.
Wow.
That is my opinion. I think Winter Soldier is absolutely a fantastic movie, but there is so much good to love about Guardians.
Absolutely.
But
I love Winter Soldier.
But I'll say this on all of it when we compare it to Marvel to Star Wars, and I think this is really interesting when it comes to Mandalorian. Mandalorian had multiple different directors come on to direct different episodes, and it worked because there was a plan to build a future for the series.
Absolutely.
For all the other series, they just gave it to a director and said, "Go have your show." The same way that they play the movies, they do the exact same thing. The stories that don't work in the Star Wars shows, it's the same reason. Even when it works with Andor, Tony Gilroy is making his story. It has nothing to do with anything else. It's not connecting to anything else. It's his story, and that works. But that can work sometimes, and that can fail miserably
if you can't tell a story. Yeah.
Yes.
And
so that's why what's happening.
That goes back to what you were saying earlier with Obi-Wan too. Is why I didn't like Obi-Wan is because I didn't see the point of it. Because it was answering questions that I knew the answer to. Like I'm not just saying every prequel is like that. That's not what I'm saying at all.
No.
Literally, Obi-Wan literally was saying it was working backwards of math. It was like, how did this get here? Because of this. And that's my least favorite. Yeah, that's my least favorite type of storytelling. And it's telling the punchline first. And the punchline was in 1977, and it was amazing. And I didn't need to know any of that. And also, it was changing the original in my eyes, where now the last time he saw him was last time Vader and Obi-Wan fought were this time, or last time I saw you I was but a learner, now I am the master. Now that has a completely different context, and it doesn't make sense to me. So all these things, Mandalorian was building on itself, was a completely brand new thing, and it was also a different part of the timeline where it was in between the sequel trilogy and the last, or the Ridge Tridge, as I call it. So it was totally ripe area. What are the Jedi doing right now? What are the remnants of the Sith? Is the First Order happening yet? Like, all these questions are there to be answered, and it's not working backwards.
And also something Mandalorian can do as well is give you a better conclusion to the sequel trilogy. Because I truly believe what I want more than anything else is within either The Mandalorian or Ahsoka or some show, I want them to bring in a Mara Jade, and I want them to have a connection with Luke and Mara Jade, and Mara Jade die. And so Luke loses everything to lead him to being willing to kill his nephew. That's what I want.
I think you're hitting on me bringing up Mara Jade.
Sorry. But I just feel like that's where it always missed me is after everything he just went through to fight for his father to come back to the dark from the dark side. Yeah. For him to turn on a family member that easily just does not make sense to me.
But that's why I say if you bring in a Mara Jade, that answers that question. Someone who has been through so much loss in their life, who has so much hope, that's building and finds love, and loses everything because of either a mistake he did or a mistake someone else has done. That makes that scene. He could mistrust his nephew because he had already lost so much already. And so because of that loss.
He was reading his nephew's brain while he was sleeping. I mean, we all do that.
No, but that's
what do you mean? You never did. I knew that. Yeah.
Everybody does that.
That's the thing right there why it doesn't work for me right now, because he just went through that same battle with his father, and for him to just be like, I'm not even going to try to bring him back.
That's where I think they need something in between.
Ben had a Ben had a bad dream and Vader purged Jedi. And he's like, hey, guy who murdered Jedi for the last 20 years, 19 years, I know there's good in you. And then Ben's over here snoring and he's like, grrr.
Well, that's why I say I think it can work so well as thematically. If
you're
right.
Able to
you
bring
can
Luke answer why is Luke so jaded.
Yes.
Yeah. Why did Luke end up that way? Yeah, no, I completely.
And that's my hope. That's my hope.
I think Luke ended that way because Grogu went with Mandalorian and his name was Luke. I think that's your answer.
I know if Grogu gave me the cold. Yeah, no, if Grogu gave me a cold shoulder, I'd freak out on my nephew too. You're not even close to my
World War Hulk.
It's all Grogu's fault.
No, because Luke would have made
Yoda too.
Yo2D2. Yo2D2 would have been his name.
Taco, I don't think I've ever asked you this. Which is better in your eyes, Rise of Skywalker or Last Jedi?
Oh my god.
Ooh.
I mean, do I want a nail in my foot or my hand? I don't know, man. They're both nails. It's funny because I'm about to speak Ben's language. I walked out of Rise of Skywalker enjoying the decisions they made, but hating the pacing, a lot of the performances, a lot of the new characters. I thought it was a really badly made film, and I love Rian Johnson. I really do. I liked a lot of Rian Johnson movies.
The Last Jedi?
Yeah, I'm talking about Last Jedi. So I walked out of, because I don't know that Rise of Skywalker is the thing yet. So I walked out of Last Jedi really, really disappointed. And I liked a lot of the decisions that he made, like Rey being just a random junk traders, whatever. Like, I like all these decisions it made, and I liked the whole kill the past thing it was doing, and I like that Kylo destroys his helmet. I think you know where I'm going. And then I walked in, and I was like, it was probably my least favorite Star Wars movie. Last Jedi was walking into Rise of Skywalker. And Rise of Skywalker was so amazingly garbage that it made me love Last Jedi, where I'm like, the only good things I liked about Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker took away. It flipped. Next thing you know, Kylo's like welding his helmet back together and putting it back on. I'm like, oh no, they're going backwards. And then they went backwards. They went back on every decision that Rian Johnson made, and it made me want to throw up. And I'm not exaggerating. It made me want to.
Who directed that one?
J.J. Abrams.
Justice for Broom Kid. Justice for Broom Kid. I'll always say it.
Midnight Cinema. It's the first time you've talked since I got here. How you doing, man?
It's been wonderful, man. How are you?
I've only talked to you. He's slid in my Twitter DMs, and that's the only time I've ever talked to him.
That's the only time we've ever spoken. And now we're live, my friend.
Yeah. He gave me one of those. I'm not asking you to sub my stuff, but I just subbed yours. All right.
Nice.
Smart guy.
I'm kidding.
Subtle.
I'm kidding. We had a good conversation. I'm giving him shit.
I'm telling you, this guy made a great Pokemon video about the NFL. It was phenomenal. I loved every last second.
Thank you.
Hey, if you want to cause problems, just try and make thumbnails for Taco. I mean, come on.
I like that. I always say it looks good before I then tell you my notes.
Yep.
No, it's great. It's perfect. So
it's
can
awesome.
you change
It's awesome.
this and this and this?
Yeah. This part. Oh, I like this better. It's like, well, it could do. No. I like this better. I was like, oh, okay.
You nailed it. Change everything now.
I think I've changed so many thumbnails over that. It's so funny. But they're not hard changes. Like, I complain because it's fun, but they're not hard changes, so they're not. I give them back to him like in a couple minutes.
It's horrible in Opposite World. Get back to it. I messed that joke up, but no, it's usually like. I know you can't, you never complain because literally by the time I'm like a minute after I tell you the change, you got it back. I'm like, all right, it could have been
It
that
takes
hard.
like 2 seconds because I've already got the thumbnail already saved up and it's just not hard at all.
Yeah, last week though, you tried to get it all out of the way. You're like, here's all your stuff, and I'm like, I didn't even tell you what I needed this week. You're like, shut up here.
Take it.
It's Monday. Here's all this stuff. I'm like, I haven't talked to any of my co-hosts. I don't know what we're doing yet.
I don't care.
All right.
There you go. There's your thumbnails.
Anyway,
it's great.
I'll be telling you what we got going on next week as soon as I'm done talking to you here.
Good. I'll need a message by tomorrow. Exactly what you need. We'll need it done.
Yeah, deadline. or you'll start charging me.
We're having military Pat here.
Well, we don't argue with our wives because we're good husbands, so we have to argue with other husbands.
Yeah, basically. We've learned.
Yeah. My wife does something.
Can you guys
that gets
teach me then?
and
Can you teach me, please? Teach me.
Just gotta get somebody who can take
Honey
the punches.
is always right. She is always right, and even if she's wrong, she is right. That's how you play.
I learned my place when she lent me $20, and this was already like a couple years into the relationship, and she gave me $20 to like get food. Like my bank account was down, hers wasn't. And I've like been helping her with her student loans because, you know, why not? I don't want, if we're going to make a life together, I don't want her credit bad, you know, things like that. Like I've been financially helping her a lot. I wouldn't say that I was paying all the bills. We split all the bills. Yeah. And then like a week after she gives me $20, she goes, "Hey, can I get that $20 back?" I like looked at her. What? Dude. She's like, "That $20. I'm like, just put it on your tab. What are you talking about? Minus the $20 from the hundreds that I've given you in the last like couple of years." And she's like, "Yeah, it don't work that way." And then I vented to other married people, and they're like, "Dude, are you insane? It doesn't work that way." I'm like,
"It doesn't. No.
I'm on your side, Taco. I will be the first one to tell you, I'm on your side.
I'm not on your side because I don't want to get in trouble either.
What's ours is his, or what's ours is hers, and what's mine is hers, and what's hers is hers. Yeah, no.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I never felt so good being single in my life.
There are great things in marriage. I love my marriage every single day, but there are things you learn and things you do and don't do. There are do's and don'ts.
Yep.
We have our days. She'll if she has to, you know,
like being a kid again,
money, she'll give it back. I mean, we have our trade-offs, so it's like, okay, if I do this, you know, she'll pay it back, or you know, like she'll just say, hey, or she'll just pay for herself. I'm like, you sure? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, okay. All right.
I'm happy when I'm broke because that means that she has to step up. Like when I'm like, "Hey, we really need groceries," and I'm already broke, and then I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Fine." I'm like, yes.
No, me and my wife have a very interesting relationship in that sense. Like we don't really. Money it's not an issue. Don't get me wrong. It's an issue, but
it's an issue.
Money is always an issue.
It's not an issue until you don't have any of it, and the next thing you know, you're like,
not like
how many magic cards did you buy this month? Like, what are you doing?
I think it teaches you how to save a life.
But she's awesome as far as that goes. Like we mess with each other so much. Like same sort of thing. Like, I borrowed that $20. Give me that $20 back. What are you doing? Where's that $20 at?
We had to have a talk about like getting rid of spending. This actually happened today. We get rid of excess spending, and it just came down to like stopping to get coffee on the way to work. And because of inflation, right now a nitro pumpkin latte. This is my coffee, right? I do the pumpkin spice. Nitro pumpkin latte with an extra shot is $8.
Yep.
And that's one drink. And I said to my wife, I'm like, we need to literally maybe do what like once a week or less coffee runs. Like I have to stop, like apparently it's too much. And she's like, "Yeah, I had that thought too," and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, "Well, how much did you do it this week after you had that thought?" She's like, "Only 4 times. I'm like, "Okay."
It's only Thursday.
What? You still cut it in half, but still.
Dude, I've been banned from Walmart for years, so.
Well, we have a crappy Walmart, so I don't do it anymore. I wanted to save money and go to the
Star Wars stuff and stuff like that, so I'm always grabbing little dumb things.
Well, speaking of wife and everything else, I have had to head out.
I should probably do the same.
You know what? Thank you guys for coming. We're going to wrap up too.
Let's wrap it
okay,
up,
well then let's just do the full wrap. But Luke, it was good to be in the show with you. We talk like 3 times a week. We talk all week, and we never do shows together.
I don't do a show anymore. Like I do my reactions. I do shorts. I
know. I mean, I was a little mad that I didn't get an invite to one of your like House of the Dragon things when you know I'm literally an expert on the entire universe. And I'm like, what am I, chopped liver? You're making my House of the Dragon thumbnails. You know I know.
All right, when it comes to the House of Dragon, what we were doing was literally as soon as we watched it, I did a quick reaction and then I was done.
I was done watching it. I was watching your reactions in live time. Like I just finished it too. But he's gone. But all right, I just wanted to give Luke some more crap on
somebody's got to, right?
Yeah, it's on.
You're like, I got nothing for you except for when we do everything you love. Now don't invite you. Yeah, I know.
But if you'll notice, I don't do live shows much anymore. They
don't.
just don't help our analytics well at all.
No, my didn't come on live shows and that, so I do appreciate that.
You're right. They don't help analytics, but I still like them because they're fun.
They're just fun to hang out
and
have
that's
a good time.
That's. I mean, the Geek Gauntlets don't do uber well, but I'm still hanging out with 8 of my friends arguing nerd crap for 3 hours.
Right.
Like, what's not to freaking love about that?
I'm excited for the next one.
Yeah, December 22nd. Thanks for bringing me on so I can plug the Geek Gauntlet.
Oh yeah, that's a thumbnail I have to work on. What? Who said that?
Oh yeah, I'll send you the roster. I didn't send it to you today. I sent it to Ben.
Oh yeah,
Ben likes it. Yeah.
Somebody needs to do that to get ahead of the game. What? Who said that?
What's the topic this time, sir?
Humans, just straight humans. The only superpowered person who you could say has superpowers is probably Michael Myers.
I can already tell you who will win.
Well,
Michael Myers?
Nope, Nightwing.
Nightwing's not in it. Nightwing's not in it. My DC is Harley Quinn.
No, that's so sad.
John Wick was in an old one.
You have not used Nightwing yet, and that's the character. It's so disappointing.
No, I haven't used Nightwing yet. I've used Batgirl.
How dare you?
John Wick will kill everyone.
I had John Wick versus Archer. And like my first one we ever did.
That's not fair. That's not a fair fight.
Yeah, I know. Archer just completely stomps him. I know. Archer just completely stomps him. I know. No, but I do have Austin Powers in this one. I have the battle.
Maybe,
I have the battle of the Mike Myers. I have Austin Powers versus Michael Myers in my round 1.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, that's amazing. Don't you dare talk crap about that. That's an amazing match.
That's awesome.
But I don't want to give anything else away, especially because I might
be included.
But are we getting out of here, Ben?
Yeah. No, Taco, please.
I came in here to get the plug, and then I'm gone. Something to talk about is the name of my channel. Go over there. I got a bunch of nerdy stuff. Ask Luke. He knows what I do over there.
Luke, please. Have anything to plug?
You can find me on the Galaxy Geeks channel. We do reactions, we do shorts, we do a little bit of everything, movie reviews, show reviews. We do a little bit of everything. The channel's at 2,843 subscribers. We are so excited. I'm just so happy how far we've gotten, and we've got so much farther to go.
You just make me feel like the biggest piece of crap. Like I'm at 87, and I'm proud of every one of them.
Hey, it took forever to even get to 100, so it literally.
Ben knows, Mr. 100 subscribers.
YouTube is
that's the purpose of the stream, Taco. There's a celebration for it.
I know.
YouTube is a multiplication game. As you grow,
I thought you were going to say a fickle mistress. YouTube is a fickle.
That too.
You imagine having a wife who's as cold and mean as the analytics? Holy crap!
Oh,
Midnight Cowboy or Midnight Cinema. Where can everyone find you?
Midnight Cowboy.
Well, I reckon that's.
Are you on Yellowstone this season?
Well,
that would be awesome.
Bit. I mean, I tell you what, it might catch me. You might catch me in another season of 1883 if they were to do so. But since they're doing 1923, or whatever it happens to be, I'll be a part of that with Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren. But no, you can find me on my channel, Midnight Cinema. Boom. You can find me on. I'm here every Friday, every Sunday, every Monday. Jeez, I'm tired.
Oh, don't mess it up now.
I know, right? Like,
it's the first time you've talked in the last 2.5 hours, man.
I know, crazy. It's burnout. You find me in the Facebook group Multiverse of Geekdom. I'm currently sitting at 195 subscribers right now on my channel, so I'm hoping to get 50 by January. Growing steadily.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's a journey. It's a beautiful thing.
We talked about it before. It's really sad.
Oh, there's also you can also find me somewhere fighting on Asgard or breaking Batman's back all over again. But that's where I reside. So I pass the mic back over to you, Ben.
Done. Where can everyone?
Oh, I thought
find
he was
you?
saying done. Like done.
I know,
Like, what
I
about
was like,
done?
all right,
Oh,
guess
he said done. All right, done.
Done.
Yeah, guys. For now, you can find me on Twitter, at Jedi Master Todd. I'm joking. I'm sorry. You can also find me here, guys. Mondays on Fellowship of Geekdom, Tuesdays in the Geekdom Initiative, Wednesdays Jedi Academy, and Sundays on Geekdom Uncut. Also, guys, look for me in the Facebook group. Please keep liking and subscribing and sharing our channel. We're still trying to grow, so yeah, absolutely.
And you can find me right here on this channel every day of the week.
I was gonna say, when are you not here?
Yeah, I'm here every day.
Get
except
off
for
the channel.
Saturdays. Yeah. And at my Twitter, at RenderBit5. Thank you everyone for joining. And we'll see you at the next 100 celebration.
Absolutely.
Later.